Howdy.
Morning.
Good afternoon.
Whatever, man.
Good night.
How you? Oh.
See you next week.
I got a fucking text message from Wooly this morning at, I want to say 11:20ish, right? It was like, no sleep. Can we delay the podcast? And I'm looking at it as I've been looking at my ceiling for hours.
Yep.
Going, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'll get... Nope. Did you get any sleep after that point?
That's the point at which I got 2.5.
Okay, because I had my 2.5 right before that.
Yeah,
So I've been up since then.
I had 0 all the way through, and at some point this morning, I was like, yeah, we need 3 o'clock.
I got the flutter eyes today.
0.
Oh no. Oh god, that's so embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Wow. So, sleepless and sleepless and super beast. I like that. That's good.
See how that happens? If you're sleepy, you make judgment errors.
So
it's like being drunk, really.
I caught just enough so that because I'm a bad napper these days. I used to be so good at napping. I used to be a fucking champion napper. But now napping really doesn't do much for me, and it sucks. But I managed to get just enough that, like, you know, when like the full-on melatonin, like, you know, the waves. You know when you feel the waves?
What the fuck are you talking about?
The waves of sleepiness. That,
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
You never wake up, sometimes half asleep, and like your brain feels like it's kind of like on the ocean. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? No? Really? Okay.
I'm staring at Wooly with befuddlement.
Wow, I'm surprised. Melatonin is the thing you take that makes you sleepy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm aware.
And
I've taken it. It does nothing to me.
Yeah, and I feel these waves of sleepiness that, like, kind of just like, I'm like, woo, I'm kind of woozy, and I feel like my body's almost like sitting in a canoe, you know? And I feel like that kicks in for me, like, late. Before, when I was good at napping, it used to kick in right away. But now it takes a while to kick in, and today it kicked in just before I had to get up.
Because for me, my sleepiness is either so gradual that I don't notice it until I'm like, my eyes are fluttering.
Yeah.
Or it is a sudden, instantaneous crash where I go, man, I'm gonna stay up all night. And the irony that is that you're describing how you used to be good at napping and how you are not good at napping.
No.
I used to be the anti-napper. Like, I could not nap ever. I could only sleep unless it was like after midnight in my own bed with my head turned a certain way and just all this stuff. But then lately, like in the past year, around like 6 or 7 p.m., I'm like, oh, I could go for an hour.
Yeah.
And then I go for an hour, 90 minutes, usually. Yeah. And I wake up and I go, yeah, I feel better now.
Yeah, like I said, the hardest shock to that for me recently was the running thing, and that's where you just absolutely destroy your ability to pull all-nighters. But that is not what happened last night. And ultimately, when you kind of get into that, like, oh, it's just starting to get good, you know, like the sleep foreplay is about to turn into like the sleep fun times, and then it just, that alarm goes off and you're like, fuck me, now I gotta get up. And that's the most brutal one outside of like waking up during REM.
Yeah,
that's the most brutal it can get.
I had a one that I have not experienced as of yet last night, where I went to bed at like, I think like 4:01.
Yeah.
And I snuggled into my pillow, and it like, you know that point where like the room is cold and it's like, but your shit is warm, and it's like the ideal comfort level.
Yeah.
It's like it's not gonna get more comfortable than this. I was like, yeah. And then at some point I had that you know that interim moment right before you fall asleep where your thoughts make no sense.
Yeah,
at
brain
all.
activity is at its highest. Yeah.
Your thoughts are garbage, and it's almost a dream state, but you're not actually asleep.
It's where you forget the last page that you were reading,
Yeah.
and everything starts going blurry.
And
Yeah.
I'm like fluttering, and then I'm like, huh, that's weird that I'm thinking all weird, haha, and I became hyper aware of it, and then that snapped me the fuck awake, and then I had that moment in my chest of like, uh-oh, that was my shot to fall asleep.
Oh yeah, you can't fight
the next 5 hours.
No, you can't fight your brain. Don't fight your brain on that.
It wasn't important. It wasn't on purpose.
You have to recognize like when that happens and be like, no, that's my head. Yeah, okay, and you gotta lean into it.
Maybe there's a reason for that, because I'm also. Do you ever get
It's like
hypnagogic jerks?
no, I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
Are you familiar with what a hypnagogic jerk is?
If it's exactly what it sounds like, then yeah. But
what does it sound like? Because people at home might not know.
It sounds like the twitches you have when you are passing off and then you nodding off and then you go, bleh.
Yeah, and you bolt awake for no
awake,
reason.
yeah.
I hate that shit.
So I don't think so. Except for no, that's not true. I get them when I'm in a public place.
Yeah.
Because I can fall asleep in any situation, but I will always be aware that I'm in that situation.
Yeah.
So like if I know that I'm on a train, if I know that I'm on a bus, I'm on the way to go somewhere, if I'm on the watch, then like yes, as my head hits a certain threshold, I'm like, no.
You ever have a route that you took often enough that you could like sleep to the minute?
1,000%.
Oh, isn't it the best?
To my QA testing job, the first place I worked at, I had the exact timer down so that I could hit the metro, our underground subway station. I could jump in, immediately knock out. Like I was barely conscious enough to get onto
metro,
it. Yeah. And then I would knock out. And then the moment it pulled up and those doors opened, I knew exactly how many. And like it was a weird thing because it wasn't just the timer feeling. It was like the amount of stops and starts and jerks, the amount of times that I'd hear the little bell go off and I'd hear the door shake open, and it was like, yeah, I know exactly now this is my stop, and I'd immediately just get out and run out. And like I would run into like tons of friends and people that I worked with that would see me, but they'd know. You don't
touch Willie's shoulder.
He's gonna pop up. He's gonna pop up. They know, And the first time they'd be like, "Oh, dude, hey, we're here." And I'm like, "No, I'm good. And then eventually just got used to it, and then be like, "Yep." And I'd be walking up the stairs. Like I'd run into like Shmup God Pat, and Shmup God Pat would see me and just be like, "Yep, he's doing his thing."
That extra 10 minutes just makes all the difference.
All the diff.
Because I had
all the diff.
I like my horrible sleep schedule happened back when I started going to Sejep. Because I lived off the island, so I was doing like 45 minutes to an hour 15 of a transit each way.
Yeah.
And most of that was on a bus that would go off the island, right? So I'd stay up super late, but that's okay. Because I'm going to get like an hour extra of sleep on the way to school.
Coming far.
No problem.
Coming from far, yeah.
And, when you get to the end of the bus stop, it's the final stop, and then the bus stops. So I'd wake up because people are getting up around me, right? But then on the way home, the trip would always take different lengths of time because it would have to cross a busy bridge, and if it's rush hour, then it's going to take 2 hours, stuff like that. And I never missed my stop once because I think my body learned the sequence of turns that would hit, like, right before it got to my stop, there was a big left turn and then a big right turn. It was the only time in the entire route that would happen. And I would always bolt awake. It was like, oh, yeah, it's time to go. And that's where I got most of my sleep for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight, very bad to do.
It is, but the thing with like that crazy, I'm reminded of that crazy college student like burst nap configuration.
Oh, the Iron Man sleep schedule?
Where you just take those half an hour naps throughout the day and then you get that deep 2 hour one.
I remember being recommended that by a guy who would later go on to be known as Crazy Alex.
yeah. So,
which should say everything that you need to know.
So this was
about the Iron Man sleep schedule.
I believe it was invented by university students desperate to not die, and what they did was basically realize that if you trained your body to take burst naps of half an hour, you take 5 naps of half an hour throughout the day, and then you keep going. And then when you finally get to a point after those 5 naps, you can take 1-2 hour power sleep.
Fucking.
But it's a power sleep where your body immediately drops into REM.
Yeah.
So there's no phase 1. There's no like, slight phase 2. Like you drop into the deepest sleep possible for exactly 2 hours. And then you wake up and apparently you feel super refreshed.
So here's my favorite part about the Iron Man sleep schedule.
Burst naps.
Everyone I ever spoke to that tried it, their sleep became like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Like it was the worst thing that they had ever tried. And then the advice that would come back would always be, you're not doing it specifically enough. You have to nap for these periods, and it has to be at these specific intervals during the day.
Yes, yeah.
Even if you're at work
Yeah.
or at school, and then everybody goes, wait, I can't plan naps exactly 4 hours apart. I can have a shift to work. They go, well, I guess you're not dedicated enough for the Iron Man sleep schedule.
Well, what you're effectively doing is you're pulling the, like, you know, the electric car routes.
Yeah.
You know, so what okay, when you have an electric car, like if you have like a Tesla or so, like what they do is they'll go like, if you need to get from here to New York, right? It'll show you the map and go, this is the route you're going to drive, and then it'll plan how much battery power you have and how much time you need to charge at each station.
Yeah.
Right? And it'll be like, okay, drive for 2 hours and then pull into this station, and you don't need to charge your battery all the way back up. Charge for exactly 15 minutes and then hit the road again. And then you will know when you need to do another charge, and it'll plan out those semi-efficient routes. And so,
which works great right up until you run into a charging station that isn't there.
well, yes, ultimately, but the what you're doing with your body is exactly that. Is you're min-maxing your charge time so that you can get.
Would you say that you are
enough.
partitioning your charge?
It is almost a partitioning of the charge. It is almost a charge partition. You know, but you're min-maxing everything, and then that last one is a full deep simulation of sleep. You know, and you know what? It fucking it sounds super brutal, and every introduction to it always says it's gonna take you a solid 2 weeks of suffering to get there. I don't know anyone who successfully pulled it off. But
except for Crazy Alex.
But it has been written about, and I remember that specifically. Absolutely. Not recommending. Would not recommend.
I would recommend no sleep schedule to anyone other than, are you tired? You should probably get more sleep. There is a ridiculous epidemic, particularly of like every single person I have ever met who does internet stuff.
Yeah.
That none of them get enough sleep.
Yeah.
Like not even close.
Yeah. It's real. It's bad. And the scariest is always whenever you hear those advanced stats about like how hey, you are dying hard in your
very hard
by not sleeping, and you hear all those things about just like you're just wearing out your body and and it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, but there's memes to look at.
And there's basically
Wooly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
There's footage to render.
But there's a cat, and it is fat. It is a fat cat, and it is making a noise, and it is 5:30 a.m. and I will be damned if I do not watch this fat cat make a funny noise.
What if someone says something on a comment somewhere in one of my things? Dude, I have to see it.
So you know what the absolute worst one is? If anybody can find the comic that I'm referring to and credit it, because I can't remember the artist or what webcomic it is, but it is just a little cartoon stick figure man lying in bed going, time for sleep. And then their eyes shoot open wide. It's like, but what about that embarrassing thing you said 8 years ago?
yeah. Absolutely. But what about that thing? Oh, man. Oh, God.
The amount of times my night has been ruined.
That one is so fucking great because it's one of the most on points it's ever been. Because like my brain went straight to that part. That moment at that party where I said that
where
thing.
You were like 16
and I
like,
went, Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
And the girl I like saw me.
And the whole room just went, what the fuck? And I'm like,
no.
ah! Yeah. That's the realist. That's the realist with a Y. Oh my God. Ugh.
How
Shake
could
that
I have
off.
ever been such a stupid
Holy
kid?
fuck, I gotta shake that off. Man.
And then
Like it went to the moment, and then it went to the pregnant pause
Yeah.
held in the room afterwards, and I went, that moment. That's everyone's got one.
hey man,
That's a bad.
At least for either
That's
of
a
us,
bad.
it's not the fact that we shit our pants during our set at the local tournament.
I just,
You
like,
saw that, right?
no, I didn't.
There's a fucking Smash tourney that occurred recently where a guy shit his pants in the middle of his set, then won his set, and then left.
How did they know? Was it just smell based?
Because he was sitting there, and then he went, and then shit was smelled everywhere in his vicinity, and then he had to hurriedly leave because of the poopy.
Okay, I have several questions.
I may have no answers. I did not seek out extra details on this narrative. But
Question 1.
yeah,
Is this real?
yes.
Okay.
The source here is mom retweeted the response to this story that was, imagine being the guy who lost his set to the guy who shit his pants.
Because just saying, when Pat walks in
Yeah.
and delivers a story about a Smash player shitting his pants.
Hey, listen.
That sounds like a story that Pat made up.
That sounds like a story that I dreamed but thought was real. Right?
So
Yeah,
I'm really inclined to not believe you right now.
People said that
Just
about
saying.
me saying that the Spanish Pokemon team was throwing fucking feces in the hallway of their hotel room.
But even then, it's like, no, but this is Smash, though. Like, this is too much of an overlap of Venn diagrams of your favorite subject matter
Yeah.
to possibly be real.
Look,
Are you sure he didn't do it for you,
Yeah, he
for
might
this
have.
moment
It might
right
have.
now?
He might have been wearing a Get Smoked hat and
It might have been right for this moment.
Oh yeah, it's possible. I would be very thankful to that person if that was the case.
And he won.
For giving me this gift.
Wow.
Thanks, buddy.
Was it 3-0?
I don't know, man.
So you want to hope it was. You want to at least walk out of that one saying, "Yeah, man, but I crushed it though."
Yeah, I crushed it.
And then I crushed it again
Yeah.
in my seat. Because the shape of it was crushed.
Yeah. I cannot imagine.
Because it had nowhere to go.
I cannot imagine anything like more like vile of a way to shit your pants. Because when I assume that you're gonna shit your pants, in my mind you're always standing up trying to get somewhere, so at least it can fall down or exit normally.
No, but if there's
Like,
if there's sit involved, well now you've got a shape coming.
Yeah,
now you're working
a smear quotient.
Oh, you're working with some.
Now you're playing with power.
Now, you got some Play-Doh going on. You got some nice.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Nowhere to go but up. Actually.
Yeah, my brother used to do that.
Because going down ain't working, right?
I should probably
the placement of how you sit.
You know what?
Means it's probably going up.
I think I just like unlocked a secret prerequisite of like why I'm so terrified of shitting my pants.
It's okay. You've never played it, but in Lost Odyssey, when Kaim has these moments and memories, there's a great one where you see a glass shatter in midair around his head as he unlocks 1,000 years of memories.
Yeah,
that's what just happened. Okay,
because like I now remember, when I was a little kid, my parents used to make fun of my older brother to me, not when he was there. It's like, oh yeah, your brother, when he was your age, he'd shit his pants, and he'd shit his pants so hard that it would like go up his back, like to his shoulders. And I would be like, ew, and they'd be like, yeah, you don't do that though. You're a good kid. You've never shit your pants. I'm like, oh god.
Damn, way to kick the crib under the bus.
He was my older brother. So he was at least 8 when I heard that story.
Shoulders is way too high. That's way too high.
Now, to be fair, my brother was a really strong kid, so who knows?
You ever come back to the house and be like, hey, what up, shit shoulders?
No. Now, he would have beat my fucking ass if I did that.
Yeah. Would have been worth it, though.
No, see, for me, the fact that I knew was enough, right? I don't need to like rub somebody's face in it. It's just the knowledge to me is enough. Cause like he.
Well, I think if you don't mind, we can we can nosedive out of this one.
Fucking so fast.
Hey, what's that? Is that the ground? Sick.
Nice. Hey, ground. What's up? I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing?
So,
happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. I had a fairly busy.
I noticed, which is good because I had a fairly tame week.
So
you can fill in more this time.
A lot of things occurred. So I guess I'll start with the joy, the glow in my life. That is the new documentary Fyre on Netflix. That is about the Fyre Festival.
Are you sure it's not the Hulu documentary that's exactly the same?
No, because you see the difference between the two is that Netflix tried to jump in and undercut the one that actually had the main guy in it, because the main guy in it was trying to explain his side of things, and then Netflix was doing their version like, man, fuck that. Here's this coming out a week beforehand. Eat shit. Also, there's another layer of the story I found out afterwards, which was that the marketing company that bigs itself up super hard in the Netflix version had someone who left it and said that they were involved and knew about the shit show.
This is the best.
So that marketing company made the Netflix version while the one employee that left went to make the Hulu one because they were implicit in the knowledge of what went down. So the actual presentation of these documentaries itself is also a shit show.
Awesome.
Because we can't have nice things. Because scumbag fucking just that the worst of the influencer generation that we belong to.
Firefest was that one down south that everybody showed up to, and there was like literally nothing, and there was a bunch of people stranded on some island.
Yes, and I had a really weird thing yesterday, because when I remembered hearing about it for the first time, I remember hearing that I remember hearing about it in a specific context while like working in QA. But that's impossible because it only happened in 2017. So my brain was like, who told me about this? When did I hear about it? Because I have a fake version of a memory hearing about this.
Don't worry about it.
That I can't attribute because it makes no sense with the timeline.
You're probably just playing a shitty game the day you heard it.
And I was like, I went digging back through the podcast, and I was like, I couldn't find an episode where we talked about it the week of. So I'm like, who told me about it? How did I hear? I don't remember.
It was a dream that told you the future.
It was really confusing. But either way, Fyre, aka Fyre Festival, was the event that took place in April to May of 2017 that happened in the Bahamas. That was supposed to be a once in a lifetime Woodstock on a beautiful, dreamy beach with all the best, most prettiest girls and all the best, most amazing artists performing a music festival, and everyone was going to be there. And if you weren't there, then you were going to miss the fuck out, man. You were going to miss the fuck out because Ja Rule.
Yeah, okay, it was like the whole time you're
talking, Rule.
I'm like, Ja Rule was involved in this, right?
Ja Rule was absolutely running the show with his boy Billy.
Yeah.
And Ja infamously made a toast that went beyond viral, where he said, here's to partying like rock stars, God, I'm gonna fuck it up, but it's like, here's to something like something.
Here's to
partying like rock stars. And Billy goes, and fucking like porn stars. And everyone goes, ah. And then they have these videos where they bring in all the pretty Instagram models to hang out on the beach and to do jet skis and to play with pigs and to be all hot and cute and to kiss the camera a bunch. And then they did that. And they sold a dream. They sold an amazing, perfect
It'll be the
dream.
Greatest party ever.
Like actual, like, idyllic TV paradise, right? With the whitest sand and the clearest blue water, and everything was just perfect. And he bought an island, and he's like, this is Pablo Escobar's island that I bought.
My island now.
Right? And then, like, the story just goes into how, like, okay, so you know the part where you said it was Pablo Escobar's island? Yeah, so Pablo Escobar's lawyer and people specifically told you not to do that.
I assume.
So get the fuck off our island.
Uh-oh.
So then they had to move it elsewhere. And then one thing after another happened until you got to what was essentially a lot of the term they use is like the millennial influencer crowd got trapped in this resort area that was not a resort. It was kind of just like a dirty water ditch with a bunch of tents that were sold as glamping tents that were actually leftover emergency shelter tents, and there was no food,
no water,
and cheese sandwiches. The infamous cheese sandwich photo. And then it gets to a point. There is a fucking, like, I don't even want to, like, it's a documentary, but I don't even want to spoil it because, like, there is a single moment of, like, you cannot get any lower than this outside of someone dying, which no one did, right?
Thankfully.
But it went full on Lord of the Flies, and there was one moment where... for those of you who've seen it, it was when there was a truck full of water, and they could not get the truck full of water the day before to reach the camp, so no one would have any water, so everyone was gonna get fucking dehydrated. And yeah, just say it? Okay, well, literally, the fucking asshole, Billy, that was in charge of this whole festival, that is a sociopath, that is a psycho, that is basically just running things on the feeling of we were looking for solutions, not problems. So if you can't find a solution to every logistics issue, get the fuck out. Firing the guy that goes, you don't have enough toilets. Firing the guy that's like, you didn't book these people. Right?
You can't tell them that they're here. That they're not here. They're
telling
not gonna be here.
Your investors to give them more money and just lying about how much you're worth and just getting millions and millions. Like, the whole thing was built on a lie, and it was built on a platform of an app that was actually a decent idea, which was just a way to book talent through an app that without like middle management and confusing things.
Yeah, sure.
But the point that it gets to is where that water is stuck and these kids are going to dehydrate. Yeah. They're not going to have enough water, and the only way you, my right-hand man and event coordinator friend, this poor older gentleman, the only way we're going to get that water is, look, you're gay, right? What you got to do is head on down to that customs office where they want $125,000. Go see that guy at the customs office, and you're going to have to suck a dick, man. You're going to have to suck a dick.
What does the customs office have to do with the water?
You're going to have the customs office stop the water because the water came through and the customs office said, in order to bring these trucks full of water to the festival, you owe us $125,000.
Oh, like duty or some shit.
Yeah. And then he's like, you got to go down there.
Oh, you're just going to have to go suck dicks
until the water comes
through.
You're the only one that can do this because you're my gay right-hand man. You're going to have to literally go in there. Here. Right? And the poor fucking guy was like, I've been doing this. I had a career. I'm like a professional. This has been the thing. But I freshened up and I squirted some mouthwash and I went down there and the guy was nice and he just went, hey, look, it's cool. Just take the water. You know, just take it. And
so it worked.
And you guys are going to owe us the money first, please, when the money comes in. But he fucking went down there, and it's like, your festival, the thing that should have canceled it, literally was hinging on you making a guy go give a blowjob. And it's like, Billy, you have a perfectly fine set of lips. What the fuck is wrong with your mouth?
Well, I don't want to.
You head down there.
No, I don't want.
And you suck the dick, Billy.
No.
You suck it. What reasoning would you have to fucking make
Billy
this guy
does
go
not
do
want
it?
to suck the dick, though.
Well, it's your fucking fault that we're in this
Well,
predicament.
I guess these people can starve with no water then.
The kids are going to dehydrate. All you got to do is suck one dick to stop them from dehydrating. It's like a punchline.
I feel like we
What
could,
do you do?
I feel like there was a point before this moment that this could have been avoided via some action.
Hey, look. All you got to do is head on down there, put your knee pads on, put your lipstick on, Billy, and just keep thinking, here's to fucking like porn stars,
so Billy and the right-hand man, they were at the festival during this occurrence?
Yes.
So there was like a considerable worry, I assume, of like it going full-blown Lord of the Flies.
Oh, it went Lord of the Flies.
Because when water starts to not exist,
yes,
society stops existing too.
And when everyone who paid various amounts of like tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars for their amazing resort setups, when everyone standing in the same place goes, doesn't matter how much you paid or what you bought, if you see a free tent, go get one. And everyone immediately panics because they've been waiting outside for hours, and for 6 hours they had their stuff and they were just sitting there wondering what was going on and no music was playing. Then they're like, run and get your tent, and everyone goes, oh, we're fucking, it's on.
If anybody
because
tries
there's nowhere
to
else to
get your
sleep
tent before you, kill them.
So they all ran to get their tents, and people started destroying the tents around them so that they would not be next to other people. And then nightfall happens, and then you realize that this place that had no setup, that had no infrastructure, that had no toilets, had no lights either.
Of course not.
So it becomes pitch fucking black. And the real survival mode kicks in, and shit gets dark in more ways than one.
Oh, wonderful.
Because the survival of the fittest is absolutely now roaming, and that drunken, like, teenage, yeah, we're going to have the best weekend ever, starts to become, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. We don't know what was that noise.
You know what has water? Blood.
It went nuts, dude. And then all the local Bahamian workers that you fucking promised their money are not getting paid. So then they fucking start rolling up going, where's our money? And then they're like, and then the employees are like, yeah, we don't, and then they're like, where the fuck's our money? And then more and more of them start just walking up and standing around
now
and being vaguely threatening.
I have a question for
and then
you.
Eventually someone catches wind that maybe, just maybe, hits might start getting put out on people.
It's a fairly unique situation because there's always, hey, where's my money, to a person that you know. There's always, hey, where's my money, to a person that you don't know, but you're in the country that you actually live. Then there's, hey, where's my money, to a person that you don't know in a country that you don't live, but they do. That power dynamic starts to change.
So the guy who lived there that arranged to get all these people hired, who basically had no answers when they came to him and said, where's my money? And then started fucking coming by his house. He gets on a fucking boat and he's like, nope, I'm out.
Man, the ocean's a big place.
I'm done. And he's just out.
Goodbye.
So motherfuckers are now walking up on this property looking for anyone who looks even remotely like an employee of Fyre Festival, while the kids are scavenging for survival material and mattresses and beds and water, which of course it rained and wet everything.
Of course it rained.
Right?
It fucking rains in the tropical areas of the world.
And it is one of the most insane stories of one fucking sociopath asshole who would never take no for an answer, and he apparently just was surrounded with enough talented people that they always found a way, so that every time it should have gotten shut down, it didn't, and it continued and continued, and then literal stealing and hustling and scamming of people on this dream of this influencer wave where they just put out videos of paradise and perfection, and FOMO kicks in harder than it ever has, and people come in and go through, like, people are just like literally talking about how like they sold shit to get to this once in a lifetime experience, and everyone is kind of like, yeah, all this awful shit is happening, but if you think about Woodstock, no one talks about all the awful mudslides, all the ODs that happened, all the horrible like plumbing and just
totally.
the grossness of the situation, because Woodstock was such a legendary event that in retrospect it just became historic, and man, you had to be there.
Yeah, well, Woodstock was also landlocked, so you could just drive to things if you needed it.
Yeah, so
putting it on an island, I feel, is the root of many of the problems.
I mean, there was literally a shot of a bunch of kids and well, not kids, but a bunch of young adults and whatnot, everybody, party goers and festival goers, sitting around inside this little like camp area. And then one of the guard people, like in an airport, and they have no way in or out, and one of the guard people walks up to a door and puts a lock on a chain and shuts it. And everyone's like, "What? What is that? What is happening right now?" You know, like, you have to watch this thing.
I remember when it was going on. You have to watch it. There was the underside to it that was the darkest of the humor, was that everyone there, every single person there, had to be wealthy in some capacity to be there. Correct?
And well, that's kind of that's what got people to really enjoy watching it burn down.
That's where the sickness in your heart comes in.
Yeah.
Where it's all the kids are all rich kids and trust fund babies.
But
right?
then it turns out that's not necessarily the case.
No!
There were some normal some normal middle to lower class that did sacrifice to make their way up there.
Well, it's not nearly as much fun now.
No, it's in fact it's pretty fucked, and there's other parts of it that are just like,
because when all the rich kids turn into cannibals, that's kind of hilarious. I'll be really honest, but
I butcher the word every time, but the German word for like the enjoyment of watching.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah,
is that how we're gonna pronounce it?
That's close enough.
Okay,
Schadenfreude. Whatever.
Yeah, that. It's absolutely that.
That tingle in your heart.
And like they literally cut to Ron Funches on Conan going like, if you paid for Blink 182 tickets out in the Bahamas, you deserve what you got, or whatever, you know what I mean, like, fuck you type of thing. Like, it's one of those moments of like, yeah, the rich kids got served cheese and bread, and like there's all the memes, like the one girl going crazy with the fucking the crazy like zombie apocalypse behind her going, I was promised arugula. But it turned out it was like, no, a lot of normal people got fucked over.
Oh man.
And this dude Billy is so out of his goddamn mind.
What happened to Billy now?
Well, he got fucking arrested.
Oh, what?
And then he got out on bail.
What?
And while he was out on bail, he committed even more felonies.
Wow,
because that's the type of person, and that's the thing. Like, I was watching, and like Steph was getting really like, oh, this fucking just this piece of shit,
Yeah.
really guttural. And I'm like, I had like the opposite reaction when they revealed the whole thing about like, oh yeah, his money was like basically stolen from the get-go.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I had the complete checkout of like, oh no, I don't even have them. Like, no, you're just a piece of shit.
Oh, see,
like, there's no part of this where you had to choose between one or the other, and you went, I'm gonna go. Like, no, you were just scum.
It's one of those,
and you get to be written off.
I'm kind of there as well, because I'm like, oh, it's your job to be evil.
Yeah,
it's how you make your living.
And then he's the kind of person where you're like, well, if you let me out on bail and I can still walk around, I'm going to commit crimes.
I mean,
until you stop me.
One of the reasons
why haven't you stopped me?
That I like to acquire money,
and I'm like, fair enough. We should probably stop you.
One of the reasons I like to acquire money is so that I can pay my bail payments to go out and make more money with more crime. It's a self-sustaining economy.
And the whole time,
the taxes.
The whole time this is going down, the only question on everyone's mind
is, what does Ja Rule think of this?
Where is Ja?
What's Ja Rule doing?
Where is Ja?
His name is #1 on the fucking poster and all that shit, and he's
co-founder of Fyre,
ostensibly
co-owner, co-founder,
directly responsible.
And Ja is on Twitter going, watching these documentaries with y'all. I can't believe it. My mouth is agape.
Shut the fuck up, Jaw!
Jaw is like,
What the
wow, I can't believe, y'all, I got bamboozled, y'all. It's murder.
That's your responsibility, Jaw!
Oh my God, I can't believe, have y'all seen these 2 documentaries? Have you seen this stuff? Y'all need to watch, this shit is crazy.
Jaw should be in jail over this shit.
Jaw is literally on camera in the documentary going, yo, I wouldn't, no, it's not fraud. It's not fraud. I would say it's false advertising, you know, literally on camera. And he's just, Jaw's on Twitter going like, I got receipts. I'm telling y'all, I got had. I didn't know.
Did you?
Oh.
So
and he's just like, I can't believe it. Have y'all watched? That's like, oh, God.
This is a wild tangent. But did you see that clip floating around of 50 Cent on Colbert?
Of course. It's
Talking
not
about-
old. And that's old.
That's old?
That's super old
Oh,
because
I only recently saw it.
I saw the clip recently, but I saw the Instagram story a while ago.
Oh,
and
man.
it must have happened over a year ago.
Damn it.
And the best part is 50 Cent going like, yeah, like, so I bought all these Groupon tickets because I saw them and went, wait, I can buy the first 3 rows or 4 rows of Ja Rule's concert? All right, fuck it.
Come out to an empty front row.
Now you gotta perform, and like that happened a while ago, and that is one of the greatest trolls ever. But the best was, I don't know if you saw his Instagram.
I did not.
But there is a photo. There is a photo of.
Oh, I saw that photo.
Of basically someone edited like a concert, and then a bunch of empty front row seats, and just one shot of Fiddy in the middle, just going ah, with his hands out, wearing a suit. It was unbelievable. It was fantastic. Yeah, that's great. That's fucking great. And Jaw can't believe it.
I think the fact that DMX is constantly in jail for robbery and threatening people with guns and all that, but Ja Rule gets to put a bunch of people on a fucking island to make a goddamn budget battle royale event, doesn't go to jail. I think that is a travesty.
I mean, he's out. He's fine. You know?
Like, think of how bad that could have gotten.
He's partnered up with someone else that has a new business doing similar things.
Oh my God.
You know, because and that's the one thing, is going all the way up the chain. Like, this was able to very clearly paint a picture where the buck stops, and the buck stops at Billy, and like,
DMX is still in jail.
Up until, yes, well, you got to check the website.
I did. I checked your website just now.
You got to, and that's the one thing, is like, you're going through the documentary, and there's a point where you just go, like, you could have, Billy up until like the halfway point could have come in and been like, listen, I just had a dream. Like, Ja Rule said something to the effect of, to fail this big, you got to dream this big.
Shut the fuck up.
Right? He had literally that type of quote.
Shut your fucking mouth, Jaw.
And there was this whole thing where,
that's awful.
Like, you had plausible deniability where you could have went, I'm just this startup and tech investor, and I had a startup company, and we were entrepreneurs, and we just decided to run this event to blow up our product before it launched, and it got away from me, and I didn't spend the money right, and I got caught up. And what you had,
that happens.
You literally could have had plausible deniability.
Events fuck up.
But the moment you told the man to go suck the dick to save the festival,
listen, I don't.
It's over.
Listen, I don't know.
It's done. There's no walking it back.
I don't know what to tell you, but unless you get a dick in your mouth, people are gonna die.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's literally just the fucking the actual punchline material. You know, the thing that is like, okay, if you had to save 1,000 festival-going kids' lives,
you see all those people?
Would you do it, though?
They got no water.
And apparently the answer is Billy would not do it.
Billy would not.
Billy wouldn't do it. Anyway.
That story could have been so much worse. And it is very lucky for Ja and everyone involved that somehow there was no loss of life, right?
And so Ja, on that call where he said that line, where he said it's not fraud, it's false advertising.
Yeah.
He literally went, look, no one got hurt. All right, everyone was okay.
Oh, I'm sure people got hurt.
We just need to find a way to spin it. This room is full.
No, he did not say that.
This room is
Get
full
out.
of a lot of geniuses, a lot of smart people in this room. We just need to find a way to spin it. He literally said
The word
that.
spin comes out of his fucking mouth. Holy shit.
Have y'all seen this documentary? Oh my god.
It's crazy. I didn't know what was in it.
You need
it, John.
yo, Netflix. Yo, y'all need to check out Netflix. This shit's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my
It's wild out here.
Because, like, I'm just thinking, like, if you just move some of those events over by a week, the story would become one of, like, cannibalism.
My favorite part is that the overwhelming effect and if the feeling of it by the end is that this story could not have happened at any other, not just like era in history. Like it had to happen. Like 2015 was too early.
Yeah.
It had to be 2017. It was so, or it was so.
It had to be in the Instagram era.
It had to be right now. It like anything sooner, and it was not. The pieces were not in place. The sentiment was not there. The feeling was not there.
The ability to get all those people out to an island under such suspicious circumstances.
And make so much money, yet lose all of it and continue to fucking steal. Like, it had to be now, and it had to be the perfect confluence, and it had to be Ja Rule. It had to be that fucking name where when Chappelle says it in a punchline, people that don't even know who he is laugh because you're like, what the fuck is this reference? Just the name, like, we're talking about Ja Rule. Why are we talking about Ja Rule and Mystical? That's the two names where you're like, what? Why is my brain going back to this place?
Like scratching at the door of Mystical. Like, I feel like I've heard that name
Danger!
Once. Oh, God.
Get on the floor!
Ugh.
Raspy voice before fucking little. Anyway.
I'm up to date.
Yeah. It's
like,
fine.
Dude, come on.
But that's exactly it, dude. So a rousing endorsement for the movie Fyre on Netflix. Please watch and understand the concept of love.
That's wild.
But then also understand that the movie was put together by the marketing team.
Go watch the other one as well.
That's in the movie. That literally in the beginning they got the Fuck Jerry is the name of the company, and they're like, they got legendary marketing team. Fuck Jerry. Oh my god, they got the best. They got the geniuses of. And I'm like, okay, guys, all right. But knowing that. Keep that in mind, and you gotta, like, I say it from time to time, and because I quote Mission Hill a lot, but it truly was a touchstone for our generation, and I was there to say, I saw it, and you need to be there too.
Well, you hear, just like, I remember hearing about it. So, hey, did you hear about all those rich kids stuck on that island? They're going to start eating each other soon? What? Fucking what are you... what? Ja Rule? Making a battle royale adaptation?
Hard cut to a chain lock fence being padlocked, and all the kids are doing Parks and Rec faces going, oh, what?
I wish Chris Pratt was here.
Oh man! All right, so yeah, Fyre is.
And then all the bands were like, a bunch of them lied and said they just missed their flights, and others.
Blink-182 was like, yeah, we can't deliver the performance.
And then other people were just like, what festival? What are you talking about? I'm supposed to be at your show right now. Where are you? What are you talking about? What show?
It's a fucking journey. It's a journey.
Man.
It's good shit. So there was that. There was, all right. I kind of promised this a little bit, so I do have to deliver on it. I'm not going to go full in. Not going to go hard on it.
What?
But I am going to talk about the other thing I watched this week was the movie Annihilation.
I saw your tweet about this.
Yes, and I remember that I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think you did. You watch it or you just watched clips?
I watched the clips of all the monster bits.
Right, you just watched the clips, right?
Yeah.
You're right. So, but you never actually watched the whole movie.
I did not. I also read the plot guide on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what your impressions were when we talked about this.
My impressions were that a lot of that monster stuff was super cool.
Yeah.
The bear is like an amazing looking monster, and the ending is cool looking and interesting, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't fucking watch it, so I can't possibly actually comment on it.
Okay.
Other than from a visual level.
So I like, this is one where I fully like, and this is, oh God, we're going hot off of last week's Persona discussion.
Yeah.
I'm fucking doing it again, I guess. But like, here I am. I'm gonna be on a mountaintop, and
89%.
Everyone's gonna come at me for this one
got
because
the Natalie Portman in it.
And I mean, like, there's a couple people out there that are just like, yeah, dude, I totally agree. But for the most part, I'm definitely against the grain on this one.
Why do you hate good movies so much?
So the problem is not even that. It's really just, if I can paint a scenario for you,
All right,
we're gonna spoil Annihilation.
Let's paint.
If you're interested in Annihilation, you probably want to tune out.
For like 5-10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to go too long, and I'm gonna try to keep this as level as possible because, quite frankly, in as much as I can fucking be like, all right, I'm here on the mountaintop, and I'm gonna pull the gauntlets on and just fight all 89% of you motherfuckers and just yell and scream. I'm gonna try to take it. I'm gonna try to.
You're not at that point in your life where the blowback powers you yet.
But it's also because it wasn't so bad that it deserves that level, but the flaws are really, really bothering me. So, what I'm going to paint, I guess, is the scenario, right, where I'm suckered into this because based on just the concept, there is a field
Expanding bubble.
of mystery
Yeah.
that has appeared on planet Earth.
Yep.
Right? The boss has appeared,
Yeah.
and everyone suddenly has an arrow pointing in the direction of the field because you're just like, what the fuck is happening over there?
Nobody that goes in the field ever seems to come back
No one
out.
gets out. We don't know what's in it, right? It is mystery, and it is expanding. And we have been studying it for 3 years, and we've been sending in people, and we've been sending in animals, and we've been testing out different things to try and, we know where the origin point is from, but effectively, yeah, we've over the course of 3 years, we've sent in a bunch of people and no one's ever come back out and so on and so forth, right?
Cool concept.
Cool.
Strong start.
Great. So, imagine if you will, and this is where I'm just going to say, imagine if you will, here's the meeting where people are discussing this problem, right? And this could happen 1 year in, 2 years in, or 3 years in, but
whatever.
regardless of when it happens, field is expanding slow enough that we know that it's going to eventually be a huge problem, but for now, 3 years,
totally fine.
We've seen it travel within a state, so we understand the rate of expansion.
You have decades before it's a cataclysmic event.
What can we do about this? Okay, so we've tried sending people in and it didn't work. Okay, what is our next option? Well, we can send more people in. Okay, we did that. Cool.
You can keep sending people in until it works. That's always an option.
We can Zap Brannigan it,
Yeah.
right? And we can dedicate ourselves to sending in as many men as at our disposal.
Top men.
Those killbots have a kill threshold, so I knew that sending in enough men to you can keep sending them in, right? Or you can do things like, all right, you can send in. Let's say you send in somebody and then they don't come back. Okay, the next person that goes in, you can be like, walk forward and have this rope with you wrapped around you, okay? And then no matter what happens, within 24 hours, we're going to pull it out.
And with whatever.
And whatever comes out, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll see what comes out.
How about that as an idea? It's like, oh, yeah, that might give us some information. Okay, cool. So that's a basic first step we could take, because we could just literally...
What are they actually talking about and do that?
We could just literally tie this to... Oh, no, they don't.
Oh, okay.
We could literally just tie a rope to somebody and then yank it out after a certain point of time. Okay, but that's a little bit... We're not going to get enough information, because what if we yank it out and nothing happened? It's all fine, right?
Nothing comes back out.
Okay, so... Or nothing comes back out, right? Okay, so we can have somebody walk in, and then we can put one of those... We can put those like stakes in the ground, right? And then we can put like some sort of, even like a wiring system to basically create a line tethering you in case, because we don't know what's happening in there.
Yeah, guide wire.
Right? The guide wire, it might melt and become something else. It might totally end up on the opposite side because the map isn't. We don't know what crazy bullshit is happening in there. Yeah. And I love what I call it Tokyo Jupiter, because there's an old movie, an old anime called Razafon, where Tokyo gets encased in this large fucking thing that looks like Jupiter.
Okay.
And it's a cool idea because there's a world inside a world and nobody knows what's going inside. No one inside knows what's going outside, and vice versa, right? So this type of concept is interesting to me.
You're describing the plot of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey.
It's a super awesome mystery thing. I love that, right? So somebody can walk in and then put the little stakes in like guideposts, and then we can even tie a little like one of those automatic things that travels down the wire really fast with a little note where you're like, okay, even if you're gonna die and evaporate, or like even a camera, right? We can try sending that information back down that rope and seeing how far we get until we get to that origin point, which is the lighthouse. And if you don't make it that far, then we still at least have something to go on, right? That's possible as well. Okay, no, that still, for whatever reason, let's say that method doesn't do it, or, for some reason, kind of traveling with vehicles and then having an automatic retraction, let's say for whatever reason, it's not going to work with the mystery of this thing, right? What about if we literally went above it to the origin point and orbital dropped down to the center point where we know things are happening?
Yeah, parachute in.
Right? Camera wouldn't work on its own because that, a rappel with the person tied to the rappel, go in, go out. Like, why the journey where we have to kind of walk through and take days and days to get to this origin point when we could possibly just fly over it and going down? Now, here's the part about this, right? I'm starting this out on a completely wrong note, right? And I'm starting this out on a completely wrong note because I'm giving you the literal. I'm telling you literally what made no sense in terms of the events occurring.
I got the impression reading up on it that there's a character plot line here with emotions. Yeah,
right.
Stuff
it's the why didn't we drop the ring into Mordor with the Eagles back, right?
Because then the Eagles would have turned evil.
So the important part to break down here is, despite all of that premise, because none of that type of stuff happens, right? But like, it's the important part, and the thing that this movie succeeds at is telling you a story not through the lens of what is literal, but through the lens of what is metaphorical.
Okay.
And through the lens of its themes, right? So the movie is a series of events occurring to a character and a supporting cast, and the supporting cast and the character, it's interesting because it's almost Persona-like in they're all flawed in different ways. They all have their own tortured regret or past or things that have made them experience trauma. And what we literally are seeing is the thematic journey of them walking on foot forward into the threshold, the point of no return that's represented by the shimmer, and they're going on a physical journey and confronting themselves.
All right.
Right? And it's so everything that happens literally is actually thematically the right thing to occur, to show you how, in a very Persona-like way, you face yourself, you live up to the truth. But
then your lizard brain is like, shoot the bear with your gun.
Yes, it's a strange journey, you might say.
I would say that. In fact, I did say that earlier.
Yeah. So you have that the fact that like the movie's literal events are not actually what matters. It's the thematic events that matter, right? Right. And so what's happening, right, is that you get to these moments where you encounter like the alligator, which, that was all right. You encounter the bear, which is a pretty decent CG monster. Like, that was a cool moment, Like, the bear was the highlight that people tend to remember. I remember Little V was like, I don't remember anything but the bear, and I thought that shit was rad.
It's got like a cool skull thing going on.
Big old skull bear thing happening. Terrifying, condemned ass freaky bear.
Yeah.
Freaky bear is freaky. Hype bear is hype. Good shit.
Yeah.
But then you get to the end, and then there's literally like on just a technical level, there's a CG alien like dance kind of mirror.
It's fucking
exchange.
weird.
It's very weird, but the CG is not great.
No, it's not.
The CG is very poor.
Doesn't
and that
look good at all.
Because the bear looked way better.
Yeah.
And I was very like, oh no, this moment is being hurt by the fact that this CG is failing right now, even though what it represents is thematically supposed to be important because it is the character learning to literally face their shadow self, embrace it, and then of course the other part of this that is interesting is the part where you know, and like I've seen the write-ups and the videos about this, but it's like the part where the allegory of the hero that goes on the adventure and comes home, but they still feel like an outsider at home because home is forever changed, or they're forever changed and incompatible with home. Right. This movie goes against that, and it subverts tropes. And if anyone's been listening to Wooly Will Figure It Out, you'll know that I love subverting tropes. In fact,
you love a subversion of your expectations.
I'm fucking predictable with that shit.
When you subvert my expectations, it's always a good movie.
So I'm a hack with that. That's fine. But what's happening is that this movie has the character go through something where it's like they come out, but because of their own flaws, the infidelity in particular in this relationship that you learn about, they are the cause of what made like so much of the pain occur with her and her husband and the supporting cast. And she actually can't possibly return home unless there is a version of home that is now completely modified. Right. So the weird clone of her husband that exists is the only thing that could happen to make her try to resume a normal life.
So that's fine then.
But it's actually bullshit because it's not real, you know. Well, you're choosing to embrace a lie and live with that, and thematically super on point with that, right? That's what it's going for, and that's what works, right?
You know what that reminds me of? It's one of those tropes that always bugs me, where you know when somebody gets transported to an ideal world, and the characters go, "Dude, you gotta snap out of it. It's not real." It is extraordinarily rare for a character to go, "Yeah, but I'll live forever in an ideal world. Who cares if it's real?"
Right.
I
accept the lie.
I can think of one time ever, and it's fucking.
I got one right away. Pantaleano in The Matrix.
No, it's God. What's the name of the show? It's Twin Peaks with Dipper.
Okay. Summer camp. Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. Yeah, in Gravity Falls, a character gets stuck in a fucking ideal world that is obviously fake.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck it. I don't care that it's fake.
Yeah.
This is the best thing ever.
Joe Pantoliano in The Matrix says, "Okay, so you're going to put me back in?"
I don't want to remember nothing.
Okay, this steak... Remember that talk about the steak?
Yeah, I remember.
So he does it too.
I don't give a shit.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, that shit's awesome. But anyway, right? So the movie is thematically functioning and the story's moving forward successfully in the way that is only metaphorical. And in fact reminds me of Cloud Atlas, because Cloud Atlas is directed it's directed emotionally.
Yeah.
Right? So it cuts from cut to cut on the emotional beat, not the actual chronological beat.
Yeah.
To me, what should happen, a good movie should be able to take the literal and take the themes and the metaphor and blend them together successfully in a way that the events occurring are still sensical. They're logical, and you can follow what's happening, and you agree with the decisions. And all it needs is, I know this is based on a book, but all it needs is tighter writing around these events.
Sounds like it's time for Wooly to figure out how to make a better Annihilation.
And then you marry that to thematic storytelling and metaphor, and then when you have a super successful metaphorical journey, and then a logical literal journey coming together, you have an awesome film. But when one of them works completely well, and in brain dead shitty like action movies, it's just, I've invented a problem and I've invented a solution, go kill the bad guy, yay, the day is saved. Shallow and pointless, right? Yeah. And people that don't dig deep into the meaning of movies or don't care about that, whatever, will never really care about that. You can just enjoy that on the surface level, and it's totally fine. But sometimes movies go further with it, and in this case, this is a movie that's embracing the other side, but completely throwing out the literal side, so that you have to fully embrace the thematic, but turn your brain off to the actual events occurring. But the events occurring are the most interesting part of the first reason why we walk in, because the appeal of the story is the mystery behind the shimmer. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit
what?
here and say that the themes and whatnot are not successful in what they do, but I am going to say that the literal part of the story that fails to, moment to moment, like I'm not even talking about the fact that like some of the characters, like things like the tattoo moving are really cool, and the characters having these freakouts in these ways where you're like, okay, that seems like it wouldn't be like, why would this type of group of people be put on this type of mission with this type of thing? And you're like, well, okay, because the people are all flawed to begin with, and the journey is about flawed people, and yes, we would mentally assess to make sure that people going in would need to be sound and not freak out and have these panic attacks, but in this case we need the story of these flawed individuals, and that's perfectly acceptable, and it's the reason why it's going forward. But you can't pretend that the two are not married together. And that's the problem.
I completely agree. When you are making a piece of art, regardless of whatever it is, the thematic basis should blend with the practical reality of it. So if you were to make a big painting and the themes were about like counterculture with art and surrealism and shit, it should also be a pretty picture, unlike a bunch of children's scribbles, like, say, a Jackson Pollock painting.
You really wanted to get into that.
I was thinking for like the past 10 minutes. You called it out,
and you know what?
How to get there.
You found a transition.
See, if your shit's all themes, but it's not a thing that people like to look at, or is even interesting to look at, or satisfying in any way, I guess you're a failure.
So, I'm someone who can understand. I can understand that context matters in this way, so I'm not jumping on this train with you.
Yeah.
I'm still the same person that walked past the art studio when I saw like the Matt's Fine Art Studio area where they had the fucking McDonald's bag with the name tag on it as an entry, where I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. And the classes where you had to talk your way into a good grade.
I am one of those people. Like, let's fill people in for at home. I am one of those people that is pretty firm in the belief that most of the art world is just a money laundering operation and snobs that just like to stand around and smell their own farts.
I mean, did you catch the new Banksy? It's on a corner. It's on a wall, and the poor guy doesn't know what to do with it. But no,
keep it. It's a piece of art.
I think there's a threshold where you're not smelling your own farts, that you can appreciate something made with a certain context,
so
having
what's
a meaning, and I'm totally on board for like
the funniest
those
bit
situational things.
Is that the first time I ever heard about Jackson Pollock, and one of the reasons why I dislike him so much is that the first time I ever heard about him was in Cégep when a teacher was telling us about him. And my teacher was describing how he made the paintings. And he was like, I used to know a guy in Montreal, used to teach here, who made something really similar, but he had to stop because it was illegal. And we're like, what? It's like, oh, because what he'd do is instead of dripping paint on a canvas, he put a bunch of paint cans in front of a canvas, and then he'd get an audience, and then he'd just fire his pistol at the paint cans, and try and paint that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, that's actually a pretty cool performance.
Yeah,
at least.
Sure. But at the same time, if you're just getting into the mentality where you're like, art is getting a reaction out of somebody, so I'm going to stand in a Forever 21 and put SpaghettiOs into my vagina.
Oh, you remember! Oh, man!
Then I think we need to have a discussion.
That's the ultimate!
I think we need to have a discussion.
Oh, the SpaghettiOs!
Because ultimately, right, I fully admit that to me, that's real, by the way. So meaningful. That's real, by the way. To me, all right, I'm coming at this from the point of view of, I was in a technical art program where we were learning commercial art, we were learning illustration, design, 3D, and all kinds of stuff for literal work, right, purposes, to get a job.
Commercial art.
And there was a level of disdain coming from the fine art students who were doing it exclusively for the expression and the emotion and the craft, and the sales and the job and the such were not to be considered in the process of art. And there was this absolute nose up, So
those of you at home can't see, I'm making a big jerk off motion.
Yeah, there was a nose up feel. There's a nose up vibe that we were just like, holy fuck, because you can feel that way about your art and your bullshit. Meanwhile, we'll be over here learning this trade and learning these abilities and learning how to draw a fucking blueprint for a house or whatever. But then also, if I choose to make a piece of art that has a commercial use, I can put meaning into it because I'm not an idiot, Like, I can make something that also has a meaning.
Just because
and
you received $1 for a piece of work does not deny it meaning.
I can marry the technical prowess and the impressive technical skill to the metaphor or the theme that we want to explore, the story, as Eli would put it. What is your story?
I would like...
And it doesn't have to be one or the other.
I would like to expand on that feeling slightly more. There are many people that look at any form of expression that can be artistic, right? And decry that the instant that monetary value enters into it, that means it cannot be real or legitimate. And therefore, art or expression or trades accomplished for cash are therefore deserving of derision next to pure art. I'm doing big air quotes, right? That includes this podcast, YouTube videos, Twitch streams, singers, painters, sculptors, people who go animators who, when the YouTube algorithm changed on them and made it so that no money was going to happen anymore, the response came back, it's like, I thought you were just animating for the love of the craft. It's like, motherfuckers, people gotta get paid. People gotta eat.
Not only did I literally have that argument with people while I was in school.
Of course. You then went on to have that argument in every subsequent profession you ever had.
One of my teachers, literally, who was responsible for my grades, subscribed to that school of thought.
He's a teacher. He's using his art to make money.
She literally stood there in the front of a classroom with desks and students
that pay a tuition
to keep her fucking rent going.
Yeah.
And held that fucking, like, died on that hill. And because again, the technical class has to have a amount of fun. Like, we looked at, like, the classroom literally looked around at each other going, is this happening? You know? And your grades are tied to convincing this person. It was unbelievable, right? So I have a very, very biased, not great opinion towards that side of things.
I remember knowing people that were in, like, the drama program at our CEGEP who would look down on the people that were going to go into, like, the trade school, like the fucking people that were going to plan to go be welders.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're wasting their lives with it's like, people got to weld, motherfucker. That, like, there got to be like, looking down on a trade is so absurd.
Like, we had, like, it was like we had all our technical drawing teachers and stuff, and they were all great. And then we just had the fine arts ones, and one of them came in one time and was like, my name is Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
I am a doctor of arts. And you will refer to me as Dr. So or Dr. So-and-so. I will not respond to miss or teach or this or that or name. And we were just like, oh, this is going to be a good year. This is going to be a fucking good year, you know? And that's what we were set up for, because these people are responsible for your grade and your graduation and ultimately your future. And yeah. So all that to say that I understand that side of things, because it's
so ridiculous.
I lived in it. I steeped in it
ridiculous.
For 3 years of my life. But when it comes to making a movie like this, right? And the part about this that it definitely is going to bug people the most is the fact that it's like, but if I walked out of it and I had a good positive association with that film,
doesn't that mean it's a good movie?
That is not all that matters in the end. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to take that away from you, but I am saying that, like, you know, after I thought about it, and then I thought about it a little bit more, and then I put that out there, and then people came back, and then we kind of went forth, because you know what? Sometimes first impressions aren't always going to be the lasting impressions, right? Mm-hmm. But, you know, despite the fact that the saying says that, it's not always the case. In this particular case, like, after getting through the actual subplot of the movie and seeing that there is this successful narrative based on metaphor and theme, it completely doesn't address the part of this where you're like, yeah, but you failed on the literal level.
Yeah.
You know? And you don't always have to attempt a literal level, I suppose, but it would have been a better movie, in my opinion, if it did. But the bear was cool.
It's a somewhat complex thing. It's like if your story succeeds emotionally but not logically, you end up in a situation where it's like, well, what if you don't actually connect with the movie emotionally? What if you don't subscribe to the message that's going, you know? Right? It's like, let's take the opposite end of this spectrum, and let's take a classic movie that I'm going to assume everybody listening to this podcast has seen once, is Aliens, right? That is a fucking popcorn horror flick, right? Action horror or what have you. Everything in that movie makes sense from a logical perspective. Monsters, scary, run, right?
Yeah.
But it still manages to tackle themes of loss, motherhood, camaraderie, betrayal, etc.
I've been convinced.
Right?
I saw a write-up that was like, Aliens literally addresses old world feminism versus new world feminism.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like,
I can already see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I was like, I'm like, okay, hold on. Nope, wait, hold on. Nope. You actually have a fucking point. In Aliens. I was like, wow. So yes, 100%.
Because regardless, it's a popcorn flick, and the climax of the movie is what the climax of the movie in Aliens is: the lady get into a robot to fight a bitch, right? But the context is the person who lost their child risks their life when they don't have to defend a child that isn't theirs because of the attachment they have, right? That's a theme.
Yep.
There's something going on there. Yep. There was no need to, in the service of the literal plot, remove that emotional thread. In fact, the emotional thread improved it, and it would be the same with Annihilation, I feel, whereas if even if the movie was, say, 80-90% emotional, if the literal part of the narrative gelled together a little bit, it would probably have been more satisfying to you.
I think so. And we could just sit here and list movies that successfully do both all day. Old Boy.
All great movies.
Alien. You know what I mean? Like, all these great films will do both at the same time. And you go, man, on this level.
Vampire's Kiss.
But then on that level, you know, and yeah, it's just one of these ones. And you know, the last movie they made was Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you saw, but
that's happening in Toronto right now.
Well,
yeah, actually, no, it's not. That place got outlawed.
But yeah, that's it. They shut it down. They shut it down.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much it's just a jerk hut.
It's just a jerk hut with dolls.
Like there's another object in the jerk hut, but it's just a jerk hut.
Like, I want to see a city council meeting where, like, listen, everybody in here understands a whorehouse. This is creeping us out.
But it's just the terminology that freaked everybody out, where they're just like, no, you can't have a real doll whorehouse. Well, can we have a jerk hut with these plastic things in it?
All right, get out of my office.
Cowards. You can't stop it. It's happening anyway.
Yeah, well, it can happen over there, motherfucker. Bring that shit out to Calgary.
What if a bunch of...
No one's going to stop you there.
What if a bunch of real doll enthusiasts just happen to get together in an area and bring their real dolls with them and just happen to be in the same place at the same time?
Well, that's their business.
Flash mob. It's just a jerk hut.
I hate that. I've never heard that word before in my life.
I just made it up.
Yeah, that's probably why I never heard it. And I hate it. That's a real thanks. I hate it.
Oh yeah. So that's it, man. You know, there's not much, like I can keep going with it, but honestly, like we'll tap out there. But that's kind of where I feel the issue is, and you know, if that still is grinding your gears and it still gets your goat, then come at me, bro.
I didn't really
guess.
feel like Annihilation really set the world on fire.
No, but I did get a lot of really glowing recommendations to see it.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I took a while to get around to it, but at the time, if I saw it with all that hype up, I would have probably been more upset.
Yeah.
But I gave it a lot of space and then came to it, and that's kind of where I fell, you know. So that's it. That's all. But you know. It's I'm still on a hill, and there's still 89.4% of y'all.
Apparently, it's down to 77% now.
Okay, well,
I checked while we were.
There is the user reviews, and then the critical and then
yes,
the critic reviews. So the user reviews are at like 66 or so or whatever. But I like the idea of 89% coming up the mountain like fucking Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Hey!
Speaking of Mortal Kombat,
I got to head down to play Mortal Kombat. And hey, from Annihilation to Mortal Kombat Annihilation to MK11.
So I saw a little bit of the footage. The animation looks significantly improved.
Yes, that video specifically, you can tell that everyone saw it.
Yeah,
everyone watched it and went, "Oh,
we gotta come on, guys."
So they definitely fixed the mocap and gestures of the attacks. I mean, there's definitely going to be some that I'm sure they'll be able to pull out and go, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah, but every game has it. Look at Cammy's fucking air throw.
Exactly. For the most part, they're not doing the usual NetherRealm wonky normals and wonky idle states.
Well, the number one thing in all Mortal Kombat and Injustice games was that everyone's feet were like nailed to the floor.
The only one who's allowed to have an idle state like that is 12. Everyone else is just too much movement happening there.
Remember when we were playing DOA and we were talking about idle stances and one of us had picked Zach?
Yeah.
And you said, I think this is about as much as you're ever going to see a character move in their idle stance. Because he's all over the place.
Because Elena is more or less standing in place while she moves around a lot. Zach actually steps off and moves backwards and forwards to the point that
he dips his torso.
Buttons will whiff. Yeah, he actually keeps moving. So Mortal Kombat 11, I'm going to be releasing a Wooly versus video on my full impressions of that and about an hour, about 45 to an hour of footage of some matches. I played with True Underdog Gaming, cool guy, new buddy. We met up just on the way to the event and went like, hey, yo, yeah, you do the thing, I do the thing.
Internet.
Yeah,
internet.
Yeah, and then of course I got there and saw Yo Video Games and Max and the crew, and we just we all like talked, and Xavier was there in his ridiculous Shao Kahn outfit, so fucking sick. And I'm like, yo, gimme. Like, anyway, like, I'm like, I might have some cosplay ideas. Give me some connection. Give me the hookup. But yeah, I'll definitely elaborate a lot more going into the video, and people who kind of tuned into Max's stream will have gotten the feel for it. But here's where we're at. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. It has the single coolest fatality I've ever seen.
Okay.
Number one.
All right.
Power gap the rest.
Okay. Whose is it?
One of Scorpion's.
Of course. Is it the fucking teleport underneath?
It's the round the world.
Yeah, you can see it in the trailer.
The round the world is the coolest fucking fatality
amazing.
they've ever done.
It's super fucking rad.
That's that. The Ronda Rousey is Sonya, sure.
Whatever.
The new character, Garrus, I like him. He's like a Mummy's Alive without the mask on. He's a cool time control man. He's also Zasalamel. He's all, you know what I mean? He's a lot of things.
I saw some bullshit involving that guy.
Hey, how much time is left on the clock?
Is it under 30 seconds?
No, it's 10 now.
Oh, what? That is so crazy.
He sucks 30 seconds off the clock.
Somebody watched the Fighterpedia about time on the clock.
And you can literally add it back. Yeah, you can do it once per round, right? So he does that. Or there's not timer scam affecting moves where he quite literally can rewind time in terms of placement. So he can Ringo Road again, for those of you who knows what that means.
Yeah.
He can enter the true man's world.
Yeah.
And you can, even if you're getting hit, you can fucking just rewind time and roll it back because you save state, right? But it's a persistent 4-second rollback. So this is what you can do. It's fucking cool, man. And then Scarlet looks really cool. Scarlet's back.
Part of the main cast now.
Part of the main cast. We saw a lot of what's gonna look, what that roster is gonna look like based on the soft confirms in the behind the scenes trailers and so on and so forth. We saw like a little tease for Cabal. Saw Cassie. She mentions Kitana. You know, Shao Kahn, obviously. Like a lot of shit is out there, and so it's like, yeah, it's shaping up.
Do you know who the new villain is?
Chronica or Crow, or something like that. Like
some time travel.
Time travel girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with all this time travel.
Time travel is the name of is the name of the thing. And in the behind the scenes trailer, you see old Liu Kang fighting new evil Liu Kang.
Okay, we're gonna have lots of it then, huh?
Yeah, it's going. But anyway, the thing about it though,
that's nuts.
The craziest, what's actually nuts is what they're doing to the systems. And like, again, check the video out for a full elaboration, but the short version is that they're doing crazy shit like okay, so X-rays are now no longer tied to any meter. They're tied to your life bar. You get them before you die when you're in
Fatal
danger.
Fury style. Yeah, okay.
And when you get them, you use them, but once you use it and it lands, it's gone forever.
Okay.
So you get one per match.
Okay.
And if you whiff it, it comes back in 5 seconds.
Okay.
It's weird.
That is odd.
But what they did is they put it on a cooldown like a MOBA ability, right? You have meter. Your meter is now split into offense and defense, 2 bars each.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not like, oh, breakers and then EXs. It's like, no. There's your EXs on your offense, and there's your wake up and defensive options on your defense, and each takes from each. But when you spend it and wait, it comes back.
What?
Because it's not meter, it's a stamina bar.
Yeah.
So you actually literally have stamina to do EX moves, not
So you're going to be using a lot of EX moves.
And then you're going to turtle and wait for it to come back and then use it again.
Okay.
So there's that. Also, running is gone.
Good.
Also, no, that's not good. Also, forward momentum is...
I don't like running in Mortal Kombat.
Well, here's the problem. Forward momentum is... it's a lot harder to get in. Zoning is now stronger than ever because moving forward is a challenge. You cannot really move in very quickly outside of a side B type move, which oftentimes is very dangerous and vulnerable to use. Some characters have teleports and can find ways to just kind of do that in, but ultimately there's a level of, we want this to not be about like the pace that MK9 or MK10 was at. We want to slow it down and make it a bit more footsie oriented, which is an interesting decision because that's definitely a Street Fighter thing. So Mortal Kombat kind of went its own way with it, and now it's kind of going back to this kind of footsie-based Street Fighter type counterpoke thing, where it's short combos, very low, and a series of decisions, as opposed to like, you know, kind of what MK9 and 10 were going into. So this feels a bit like a new weird Street Fighter, but also crush counters and hybrid injustice zoning mix.
I guess my question there is like, does the feel of the buttons, is it appropriate for footsies? Because
you have
MK's pretty stiff.
You now have pokey buttons, but it's still a little stiff.
Yeah, and like MK's stiff.
And
like,
you have a sort of parry system now and a sort of short hop system now. But ultimately, the main problem is that like if the game rewards you for walking back and laming it out and getting that meter back, and it makes it very hard to walk forward. So you have a very zoning and defense-heavy game right now, and I don't see that unless they design characters in a way that it's meant to like get around that completely. It's a very weird choice, and I think online is going to possibly be a nightmare because everyone's going to be walking back and zoning, and everyone's going to just like lame is the way because you're rewarded for like taking your shot with all your resources and waiting for them to come back for free. Now, if you have a teleport or a way of Sub-Zero sliding in and punishing that stuff, then do it. Right?
But what if you don't?
But like there's situations where if you fuck it up and don't, then you get crush countered, basically. It's called a crushing blow and stuff like that. So, you know, and then you have more forward moving normals and such. But again, it's a bit of a weird decision. So that's what they're doing. They want the game to feel a little different. I'll elaborate a lot more in the video.
Straight from Wooly Madden's mouth. MK11 going to suck.
That's not what I said.
Yep.
In fact, NetherRealm Studios is good at listening to feedback. So if anything, they're going to possibly turn it around. But remember, this was announced at the Video Game Awards. We're seeing it for the first time now, and it's coming out in April.
That's too late to make big ass changes.
That is insanely fast of a turnaround compared to most other fighting games. But that's Mortal Kombat.
Take it
11.
from Wooly Madden.
Yes, sure.
Bad game.
Or don't. Whatever. There was a really cool
Worst
thing.
Mortal Kombat game.
So the whole one of the gifts they gave on the way out was a really cool hourglass.
Yeah.
And that was fun with the emblazoned logo. So I was like, yay, thank you for that. That's cool. But shout out to WB Games for that, because that was a fun time, and I'm glad they were super good about like just getting people in to try out this new thing, you know, and it feels like they have not a lot of time to get the word out there, so they really want to, and it seems like they're doing they're doing it, you know, they're putting Paul's doing his job.
Paul marketing, you mean? Paul marketing, you mean?
That's who I mean, yeah. So there's that, and then yeah. Sorry, we're running long, so I don't want to fucking go into.
Oh, that's fine. I can blow through mine as well. I would like to take a 5-minute break at some point because I'm gonna piss my pants.
That's no problem. So I'll just wrap up very quickly and say that some stuff worth pointing out. One, I wrapped up Ahegao Academy on stream.
You wrapped it up?
I hit an ending.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Things did not go as expected.
Yeah.
And like that game is hilarious, and it went in, and it did not go as expected. So another attempt is going to be happening to continue to see if we can get things to go the way we expected. I've caught wind that there's been a patch ever since the stream.
Really?
Yeah, there's the Woolly patch, as Rills put it. So
really, huh.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what changes with that. I played Assault Spy, which is
that briefcase game.
Yeah, it's Minato Arisato with a briefcase doing character action in
Yeah, I own that. I haven't
corridor.
popped it in yet though.
And there's ideas that I just said them on stream, but I'm just like, man, I one day wanted to make a thing that had elements of this, but
too
I
late.
guess it will never happen. But the game is really, really good, and it literally just, there's a point where it's doing these like Devil May Cry, specifically DMC inspired things, and other things that are really interesting. But then you see parts where it just goes, oh no, we're just gonna call that move Judgment Cut.
Oh yeah,
like or Dimension Slash rather. Like we're not even going to fucking.
It's an homage.
Yeah, there's just a lunar phase, and you're like, oh, is that? Yeah, that's lunar phase. Yeah. That's trick. So you're like, okay, cool. Game's really fun and really good. It's a little. There's only thing about it is that like running around in neutral while you're not sprinting. There's a sprint button. When you're not sprinting, running around in neutral, little stiff in some ways, you know. But I think it's kind of just like, I don't know, a little bit of it's just budget. You're just feeling the budget. You know, you feel the budget of the game a little bit, but it's still a really fun character action game, and it's got these wacky Danganronpa-esque hijinks going on. It's got some Tiggle anime biddies.
Oh yeah,
hells yeah, and it's got them with the little line. It's doing it.
The what? The little line?
It's doing the thing. We went into it on the stream, but it's like there's like you can have a straight curve, or you can have a curve and then like a little indentation because it's tight.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's got the good lines, the good lines. So we went full fucking weeb on it. We went full on anime titties, and it was a good time. And I'm gonna absolutely be going back to that over on Wooly Versus on the stream. I guess I'll move this to the docket because there's one that there's a really cool thing that I think we should bring up. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll tap out there.
Okay. Well, we'll just take a quick second. You folks listening to the audio version at home won't even notice anything.
Absolutely not. But with the end of my week, if you want to check out those streams or more of Katamari Damacy or JoJo 7 Stand User or Zone of the Enders, you can head on over to Wooly Versus and see more of that. We'll take a quick BRB, and we will BRB. Oh, they can see you walking in. They can see it happening.
Like right now?
They can see it happening. This is more embarrassing than it's... Oh, God. Oh, no. In he goes. Please close the door. Thank you.
back right now?
We are back.
Oh no. Ugh. Ugh. Hey man, what up?
You feeling refreshed?
A little bit. I splashed some water on my face too.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's it's piss. It's piss. I splashed some piss on my face.
I mean, I don't know how close your face is to the bowl, but
It's closer than yours.
So yeah. Anyway, that was me. How was you?
I didn't do nearly as much or as interesting, but I did play 2 games. One old and one new, though they both feel very old. I took a look at the Onimusha remaster. It's a remaster. And I had a situation in which I played it for like 10 minutes and was like, ooh, this didn't age very well. Because the pre-rendered backgrounds are not nearly as high fidelity as I remember. Like, they're considerably lower fidelity than, say, Resident Evil Remake, which actually released first.
I've been hearing good things.
And I was like, oh man, the ISIN timing is just impossible. And then, whatever. Then I picked it up again a second time later on stream, and I was like, oh, that's why all the timing and it all felt weird, because I didn't get far enough to get my bug arm. Get my gross bug arm that lets you do ISIN, which is the instant kill attacks. And it is a relic. It is a weird game from a weird time. And aside from its own sequels, there is very literally nothing else like Onimusha at all. It is a pre-rendered backdrop, Resident Evil tank controlling, or 3D controlling version game now, with samurai sword action, and it's a decent beat-em-up and environment-like crawler.
Is any of that based on the idea that it's close to what you know, but it's not what you know, therefore it bugs you?
No.
Because I really feel
I really liked Onimusha back in the day. A lot of it is that Onimusha to Onimusha 2 is similar but not quite as extreme as the difference between Zone of the Enders and Zone of the Enders the Second Runner. Like, Onimusha 2 is a much better game.
Wow. Okay.
That is much longer and has a lot more mechanical depth. Onimusha 1's still fun. It's just it's pretty simple in a lot of ways, but probably the coolest thing about this remaster is the additional controls they've added.
So I heard that you don't have to choose between which controls you want, because they're both available on the controller.
They are both available at all times.
That's
the D-pad
really smart.
Is tank controls like it used to be, which with this game,
it's fucking genius.
Is actually probably like a better way to fight, but not to navigate the environment, because the tank controls, when you're locked onto an enemy, your controls are relative to the enemy when you move left, right, up, and down, right?
Yeah.
And having discrete directions compared to analog movement seems to help a lot with like dodging and stuff like that. But in terms of purely navigating the environment, the analog stick 3D controls are pretty superior. So I find myself switching between the two quite often.
Were you playing in English or Japanese?
I was playing in English, which has just horrific, awful voice acting.
I heard the Japanese new dialogue is great.
Oh yeah,
or the new recordings or whatever.
Yeah, so they re-recorded some of it, and then they a bunch of the music in the game is completely new. And the reason for that, with the voice actors, I'm going to assume it's a royalty issue, or people are dead, right?
Yeah.
For the music, it's because a lot of the music was allegedly composed, but it was actually big stolen or improperly composed by that Capcom composer.
The thief guy?
Yeah, the thief guy.
Oh, he did it too. Okay.
So they fucking ripped it all out and put new music in.
God, what's the deal with these legendary games with asshole composers?
I don't know, man.
Well, anyway.
Musicians are dirtbags. What can I say? That's the only explanation I got.
Yoko Kanno's pure.
Yeah. But game's pretty fun. Game has some definite, like, asinine old video game shit. Because it came out back in, I want to say 2001, where like there's this long puzzle sequence that just results in instant death if you fuck up at any point, and then it just kicks you back to a checkpoint like 5-10 minutes earlier, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. But it's a pretty good game. It's an old game, and it's super weird, and I appreciate it more than I love it. I love Onimusha 2, and I really hope they bring that out one next, and 3 as well.
You're the first negative I've heard about it, so interesting. Okay.
Well, it's weird because like I played that game when it came out,
Yeah.
and I really liked it then.
Yeah.
But there are some bummers about this port.
Mm-hmm.
The PC version's very bare bones. All the additions that were added to Genma Onimusha on the Xbox did not come over.
I heard about that. Yeah.
How
long is it?
It's quite short.
Okay.
It's a Resident Evil style length, so it's 6 to 10 hours, I guess.
5.
Yeah, you could probably blow through it in 5.
Okay.
But
Yeah. It's
Isanin, guys. By the way, Isin is or Isen, however you say it.
Isen. Yeah.
Is when you attack an enemy right before they're about to hit you. It's almost like a parry timing. It will result in this big flashy slash that usually kills enemies in one hit, or at least does massive damage.
In Tatsunoko versus Capcom, it was really fun when Succ did it.
Yeah, that's an awesome mechanic, and it is the game's like most interesting, feel-good part of the entire game by far.
Bap, bap.
They added... It's one of those things where it's... Okay, you started with Persona 3?
Yes.
Okay, but going back to older games now, you would go, oh god, I can't go back to like... Say, I can't go back to not being able to choose what skills my demons inherit. You know, having to do the random shit.
Well, I mean,
But you feel it, right?
You feel it.
So
yes.
in Onimusha series, there's
believe it or not.
a change they made to Isen in the second game, where you could where if you held R1 to enter the lock on, you would charge up your blade. And then if you got 3 charges and then Isen a guy, you could then keep hitting the attack button to chain Isen everyone within range. And just go bang, 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 bang. And you could do it to bosses too. And you can't do it to bosses in one. And it just added so much, and it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. And not having that in 1, even though it never was a feature in 1, feels like it's missing. It's still a good game. It's just very old, and I am so much more in love with 2 that I'm like, eh.
3 and its intro have terminally have me interested in this
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I never went in, and I would have just jumped into 3, but I was like, no, don't be an asshole. Play
One's a cool game.
Right. So I do want to play 1, and I do want to LP it at some point.
One's a cool game, and if you haven't played it, you absolutely should. I just warn you of one particular detail. It has the worst ending of any Capcom game I can think of.
Oh, wow.
The ending is the biggest fucking, like, limp hand job in a parking lot let down.
Sorry, Frost Walrus just fucking skated by my window. It's kind of nuts out there.
Yeah.
Is it like a immediately pop in 2 and it's all fine type of situation? Is it a cliffhanger or a bad ending?
It is a cliffhanger.
Okay, well,
that is so bad.
Yeah.
Not just because it's a horror. Fuck it. The game's.
Oh God, you're literally describing Zoe 1.
Yes.
It's literally Zoe 1.
Okay, Wooly, look at me. It's literally
Zoe 1.
Except you don't get to fight him at all.
Oh wow, that sucks.
The final boss, like, walks down a staircase, looks at you, and then it fades to black.
Oh,
and then that scene
man.
is never resolved. In 2, you're playing a different character, and the boss is alive, so I guess the hero lost. But then 3 shows up, and Samanosuke's fine, so you're like, no, but what happened at the end?
Oh, fuck, that sucks.
It's terrible.
Is there some production explanation as to why they fucked it up so hard?
Not that I'm aware of.
Damn, that sucks.
It was supposed to be a lead
Ran out of
for
money?
a sequel. I don't know. But it's terrible.
Oof.
It's like they build it up like it's going to be the final boss too, and then it's not, and it's like... Brrr.
Okay.
But the game is really cool, and more than anything, it's just like... I bought that game so that Onimusha 2 would happen. Because Onimusha 2 is one of Capcom's best games of the era that a lot of people don't know about, because these are weird pre-rendered hack-and-slash action-adventure games.
But 3's the peak, right?
No. 2 and 3...
It's just the intro?
2 and 3
Genre, no.
occupy that place that Persona 3 and 4 live in, where they are both so good, but they are fundamentally different in a bunch of very important ways. So people are gonna...
Mega Man 2 and 3?
There's Sonic 2 and 3. And
Yeah.
Mega Man 2 and 3.
Yep, got it.
Where
Yeah.
they're both fucking fantastic.
But they're
But
not
there are
the
people
same
that are
thing.
going to swear by 2. And
I
there's
want
people that are
this
gonna
or I
swear by
want
3.
that. Yep, got it.
I can't tell you which one I prefer.
Okay.
But they're both the shit. And 3 in the modern era will scale a lot better because it's 3D. So it'll look a lot better.
Yeah, I want to find out. I really do. That's cool. Okay. And knowing that 5 hours is pretty good.
And 2, you get to fight the final boss.
Yeah. Are they all about that length?
No, 2 and 3 are way longer, actually. 2 and 3 are like twice as long as 1, which is weird.
Okay.
And 2 has a lot of replay value. 2 has an entire like character sub-story system in which you get to like choose one of 5 other heroes that you hang out and you'll play through their sections. And there's all these
Isn't that
ending
also
charts.
like Dawn of
What?
Dawn of
Yeah.
multiple playable?
Dawn of Dreams is bad. Onimusha Dawn of Dreams is bad. And I'm blaming Ono for that. Because it's bad. I don't like it.
But red main character got replaced with blue main character.
Soki sucks, dude.
He's great in Tatsunoko.
Yeah, but he sucks in his own game.
That's such a shame, man.
He is a charisma vacuum. All right? You know who's not a charisma vacuum? JPEG Dog!
Yeah!
Who has unfortunately passed away.
Oh!
That dog was a dog of the developers.
Confirmed.
Yes. But
that thing took off.
That took off way stronger than I expected. Googly was telling me that the
I don't like that
clip,
it's called JPEG Dog, though.
Yeah.
You should call it Ace Dog.
No, it's a JPEG, man.
Ace Dog.
Regardless, Ace Combat 7 came out.
He's a good woofer.
So before I continue with any part of this conversation...
He looks like a good boy.
He does look like a good boy. The best part about it, by the way, is in that cutscene, it is 2 completely different dogs that are both JPEGs. It is clearly...
Is there anything else on the planet like Ace Combat's cutscenes?
No. And that's
Tekken 7s, I suppose.
So, like, Wooly, what is your personal experience with Ace Combat?
I've watched my old roommate play some of them.
Okay. But so you're aware that Ace Combat, like real-ass Ace Combat, is the weirdest thing ever. It is so fucking bizarre.
It takes place in Jackson Pollock's America.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Not Jackson Pollock. Fuck.
David Lynch.
No. He does all the like the perfect like Boy Scouts paintings and stuff.
Oh, Norman Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell. It takes place.
Okay.
It takes place in Norman Rockwell's America.
I can see that.
That's what Ace Combat
with
is.
Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Blasting
There's a war zone out there, but
so
wholesome.
To those of you who don't know, I'm going to assume because Ace Combat is somewhat niche. Ace Combat is a 20-year-old flight sim / arcade plane game that does everyone remember how we all made fun of that Drive Club interview?
Yeah.
In which the man walked up to the car and asked everyone how much they wanted to fuck these cars. Now imagine if instead of cars, it was planes.
It was planes, right.
But now instead of a sim, it's an arcade shooter. It's somewhere in between Afterburner and Flight Simulator. And instead of dry British Monaco Grand Prix announcement, it is game after game after game of overly sincere, absurd melodrama. The way Ace Combat stories are told is so dramatic and so sincere and emotional. It is the weirdest.
But it is also emotionless.
A little bit. And I discovered why those stories are so weird, or at least the good ones, when I was streaming it, because I was explaining. So in Ace Combat are many games that have a story. So Tekken 7's terrible story mode, right?
Same folks.
Right? No, not the same folks.
No?
No.
Why does it feel so much like it then?
I don't know. But maybe it's Namco culture, but it's definitely different people.
Weird. Okay.
But, so you have the A plot of Tekken, which is
The Zaibatsu and the Mishimas.
And Kazuya and Heihachi, and they hate each other.
Family values.
But then you have the B plot, which is the journalist traveling around trying to find out stuff about the Mishima heritage and whatnot, right? In Ace Combat 7, let's take that as an example because it's the new one, you have the plot, which is Eruzia has invaded Osea with an army of drones and they've taken over the space elevator, right?
Which one's America?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They all appear to be America.
Okay.
Except for Belkin.
Okay.
Right? So there's plot 1. And plot 2 is mechanic girl with a busted leg has become a prisoner of war and is working on a criminal base used as a decoy and reminisces about the old days with her grandpa and talking with his old flying buddies. Plot number 3 is old man Ace Pilot with his granddaughters helping build the drones and reminiscing about his fallen kingdom that was absorbed into his current country and how he's dying every time he goes out onto the plane. Right? The C plot is the war. And you flying the plane.
Yeah, okay.
And shooting down people.
Yeah, okay.
The A plot is mechanic girl that never gets into a plane after the first cutscene talking to people about being a prisoner and talking to this loser who's into conspiracy theories and what the true color of the sky. Hey, does the color of the sky mean anything to you? Because to me, it means a hell of a lot. And that is a weird sentence, isn't it? Because it's all weird sentences because it's fucking weird.
So you have a big old Top Gun battle where you lose your comrades and shit blows up, and then after your mission is over, it cuts to a girl looking at a photo on a desk.
Yeah, and the sky.
And doesn't it all acknowledge what just happened?
And it does a slow pan over CG models that aren't moving.
And we just don't talk about the part where like half of your squad got wiped out.
So,
do you know how many of your comrades died back there? Dingo. So I'm sorry, it's on the brain.
I'm gonna drop an early game spoiler. It's like mission 4 out of 20 because it's the only part of the story that has to do with your character at all, right? And it is fascinating. It is so wild. You go on the mission to rescue the former president because he's been taken hostage at the space elevator, right?
Always.
The mission is going relatively well. The former president has gotten on a helicopter and they're flying out of the war zone, right? But oh no, some drones are getting real close to the president's helicopter. You're going to have to take those drones out. So you lock onto one of the drones and you fire, and then the screen goes black, and then the cutscene of your missile hitting the president's chopper goes off, and your squad mates are like, did you just fucking kill the president? Oh my, you're going to get court-martialed. And then the remainder of the story is you get court-martialed and imprisoned for assassinating the former president in a friendly fire accident. And then the story goes from there. It's crazy.
What the fuck?
It's wild. It's so nuts. And then JPEG Dog is there.
And then JPEG Dog.
I
mean, like... Like, you could just be arcade dogfighting like Afterburner, where it doesn't matter. You're making points.
But then, Wooly, we're going to have to take it to the enemy because of their terrible arsenal birds, which are the giant 2-3 kilometer wide stealth bombers that fire drones and their aerial aircraft carriers and the railgun tunnel and all this magical fucking bullshit that you're going to have to do Star Wars shit in.
You mean the bosses from R-Type?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, And that's why it's the strange reel, because you're flying a MiG. You're flying a F-14 Super Tomcat, lovingly detailed in every plain fucking way. Now go do a Death Star trench run with that plane, you president killing criminal. Like, Ace Combat is so nuts. It's so nuts.
But it's always really good.
It's always really, really good. Except for Assault Horizon, the only game they ever made that took place in the real world with real locations, real countries.
Oh.
It is a really good game. It is really fun to fly the planes. The multiplayer is pretty decent. There's a lot of cool, lovingly crafted planes to unlock. So far, the story has been alternatively a riot and a hyper-emotional soap opera. And of a larger note than any of those things is, holy shit, the music is incredible.
Always.
The
Always.
music is unbelievable.
Ace Combat as a franchise is absolutely amongst the best of all time. Musically, I will always dig into that well.
Like
it is unbelievably
the first mission
good.
in the game with you just flying in like blue skies and clouds
Yeah.
and taking out generic guys has this massive swelling operatic plane thing, and it's, oh my god, dude.
Go any Wooly versus intro almost. I'm all over that. It's so fucking good.
I played a bunch of them, and this one stands out even amongst former Ace Combat games. And it's funny because the missions in this game compared to most video games are insanely long. They are 15 to 25 minutes long. And if you die, you often start over. And they're pretty difficult. And the whole time, the music is so good. And the control of the ship, right, is just so on point and feels so good. They hit that perfect sweet spot between sim and arcade that it's great. It is a kind of game that is somewhat niche, but I would still recommend that everyone try, because this is... Hey, do you want to play a dogfighting game?
Yeah.
Play Ace Combat, because why would you play anything but Ace Combat?
Well, you're not playing Tom Clancy's Hawks 7.
So I did play that.
Notice.
I did play that, and it had an interesting thing in terms of the plane's movement in high-speed turns, but that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it fucking just a good old dogfighting game. There's two N64 ones. There's a Macross one, and there was I forgot the other one. Like, I think it's something Skies or Skies or something. It's slipping my mind at the moment. But
Blazing Skies?
No, it's another thing. It'll come up. But fucking Ace Combat is the only one that I know that's still going strong. But
and this one
year to year, or like not year to year, but it's fucking like I remember specifically twice, when I did the intro for Scrub Lords and when I did the intro for Table Lords. In both cases, I'm scrubbing through like a 5-minute long incredible track, and I'm like,
where do I cut this?
I only need 15 seconds of it, but it's all amazing, and it was the hardest thing in the world to settle on a moment. It
is. So, the game is fantastic. It's a great place to start, and I should mention that if you do get a version of this
Aero
game,
Fighters Assault, that's what it was.
If you do get a version of Ace Combat 7 to try it out, or to, give it your support, definitely get the PlayStation version.
Oh.
Because the PlayStation version, if you buy the deluxe edition, which is only $60 Canadian, comes with Ace Combat 5 Remastered, which is another fantastic Ace Combat game.
Oh, okay, so it's not about performance or
No,
anything.
it's about you get another
game. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
And Ace Combat 5 is fantastic. So that's the one to get, because obviously...
Dogfighting is great.
It's a really simple game, so there's not all that much I have else to say about it, other than the story is hilarious and touching in a weird way. Gameplay is great, and it sounds unbelievable.
I'm a little bit busted though, because I always will have the memory of when we played Afterburner Climax in the fucking arcade.
Yeah,
and man. that seat picking up and just shooting you on a fucking ride. I'm like, I don't have a big moving seat. I like the feeling of the big crazy stupid seat. Afterburner Climax is the shit. But yeah, man, I know, I get it. You know,
it's like it's a weird. Cause it's so weird because I really feel like it is the literally only plane fighting game, like of the type like dogfighting game, that has come out in like 5 years.
yeah.
Like the last one I feel like was
Crimson Skies.
was Assault Horizon and Ace Combat 6.
Okay, like Crimson Skies was a million years ago. You know, yeah, like all those other games were a million years ago. Like you just don't get them.
I feel like everyone got out of the way because this team just. What, you're gonna beat Ace Combat?
I mean,
with this incredibly specific genre.
And sadly, once upon a time, we would say Star Fox, but we don't say that anymore.
Yeah, because they didn't really make Star Fox games.
Because fucking Star Fox multiplayer was like, I had almost as much time clocked in on that as I did Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It was stupid how much Star Fox we played, and the winner fought for the Rumble Pack.
Yeah, I will say one thing about Ace Combat's multiplayer is that it's not as good as the single player because the nature of dogfighting in that system is that other players are really, really maneuverable.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredibly difficult to get a real lock on people that know how to like 180 the plane on a dime. Oh man, fighting the I did the mission where you fought the ace in AC7. The ace, every game has the ace, the enemy ace that shows up, right? So, first of all, the dude's doing 180-degree turns and impossible G maneuvers, shit your plane can't do. Okay, great. And then you get a lock on him, and then your plane gets hit by lightning, and your HUD goes out. And then you are periodically hit by lightning during the fight as you're trying to dogfight this guy who's in a better plane. It's so amazing.
That's so cool.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. Fuck. God, nothing like a good fucking dogfight, man. Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not you're in planes.
Well, because it's the closest thing to... that episode...
No, I meant in mechs. I meant in... Not bark, bark, dog.
I'm like Michael Vick's Dog Star Cross the Salt was a long time ago. We moved past that. But yes. Although, like, in real life, the closest thing to actual mech battles is dogfighting.
Oh,
so,
easily. There's no question.
That's where you gotta love it. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely in there. Okay. And where can people find more?
Oh, they could find more of me. I'm Pat, by the way, over at twitch.tv/angriestpat. This week, the schedule's a little goofy. So usually I do Tuesday to Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern to whatever. This week's going to be goofy because I'm going to be streaming the weekend for sure, a bunch. And I'm probably going to be starting the stream in Friday afternoon and taking like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off because Resident Evil 2 is coming out on Friday.
Is it now?
And yes, it is. And I am going to go hard on that until I don't want to go hard on it anymore. So I don't really plan on streaming or working 7 days in a row or 12 days in a row. So probably not going to see me Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. But Friday afternoon, assuming I don't get the game early somehow, I will see you guys with Resident Evil 2. I'll be playing as Claire first. That's over at twitch.tv/angriestpat.
Okay. So...
Come on, Capcom. I sent the emails. Come on, buddies.
Yeah.
They responded to the first email. That's already better than usual. Much better than usual.
That's okay.
Usually, hey, Wooly, you send in fucking emails and tweets to companies to fucking, hey guys, right?
Not really.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh?
Oh. I actually haven't.
Because the most disappointing one is when they get to you after the game came out, and they're like, "Oh, totally, let's do something," and you're like,
"The
game came out too."
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. So first, I want
what's in the news
to point out some news. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
So. First up in the news is just full on shout out and shill for something amazing that, that a friend is working on.
Uh-huh.
You may have caught wind one Rice Pirate Mick working on literally what he is calling his own part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw this.
Because he just went, fuck it, I'm making my own JoJo.
I'm gonna just do it.
So, a Chapter 0 test scene, like, was put out, and it is non-canon. It is just an example of, like, how this is gonna go. Good. And it is basically, literally his own JoJo, and it's called Blood Sun Vendetta.
That's a pretty good name.
It's fucking strong. And
it's non-canon.
It's basically just him animating with. It's got the music, and he's got like some great voice acting on board. We've got like designs on point, and you just are looking at literally Mick doing his own fucking world with a really good stand idea and a really good like feel for the way the show flows. And like the art is, it's so interesting because when you're watching it, you're like, the way you know it's not an actual episode is because the art is sharper than the actual show is.
Yeah,
like literally
thicker black lines.
Yeah, the art, the detailing on in the episode he put up in the mini episode is tighter than it is in the actual show JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But it also doesn't have tweening. It kind of is like a motion comic in a way.
Yeah.
But fuck, is it on point? So I absolutely just want everyone to know. I want everyone to know about this and the fact that he's working on it. And you can go to YouTube and go to check out Rice Pirate's channel and watch episode 000 of Blood Sun Vendetta. It's fucking great. And there's a dubbable like version. Yeah, we're looking at the subtitle version now, but like there's a dubbed version with test voice recording, and again, like it's super duper on point. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen or heard, but it's like it's the same person who made that pink JoJo shirt that I wear. Remember that time, like and we did like the Sleepy Cabin cast a while ago and stuff. So if you want all that JoJo goodness, go check out Blood Sun Vendetta. Yeah. And I want to say, sorry, I'm just really quickly Googling because I believe he like set up a Patreon or something like that. Let me just very, very quickly research. Oh yeah, totally. Rice Pirate is creating Blood Sun Vendetta on Patreon. So
type a combination of those words in.
Yeah, Patreon.
You'll get there for sure.
Patreon Rice Pirate. So if you want to fucking contribute. And the cool thing too is that like it like looking at the way this kind of like the way this kind of is playing out, it seems like you can actually like if you just look at the credits and stuff, this is actually playing out in such a way where if he wanted to, like the name JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not actually like on the main logo or anything. It's kind of just like we're like based in this world. But if he wanted to rip every possible thing out, he could and just call it Blood Sun Vendetta, isolated. And
then people would just side eye and be like, really?
Yeah. But he got his credits looking like fucking JoJo credits. Yeah, and like one of my favorite parts is like after you go through this whole amazing like Incan and Mayan looking art, then things sort of fade away to reveal JoJo. So
gotta take that out.
In case I mean I don't know what's gonna happen. Like that's the one thing is like the idea of making your own legally distinct JoJo and hoping to not get in trouble for it is like little dicey, not gonna lie. But I hope it goes far. The thing is, of course, is that to put that level of effort into episodes is gonna fucking take a while. So we shall see. Yeah, what was I?
I feel like you're stuck.
Sorry, I was multitasking. I was talking while looking up, but I was trying to get the list, but like Kira Buckland absolutely fucking in there.
Of course.
Killing it. So, shout outs.
Kira is becoming anime.
Yes. If not already is.
Yes.
So, that is awesome. Always happy to see.
Come on, Kira. Jolene.
Oh God, please. I'll
put my vote in that hat.
Yeah. And also, come on, Shoko Nakagawa for the intro song. She did she's a super hyper JoJo fan. She sang Sorairo Days for Gurren Lagann.
Yep.
And she did one of the meanest, sickest covers of Sonochi no Sarame.
Yep.
And I need her for Jolie for part 6. Yes, agreed. So there was that. There was MK11. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We can absolutely fucking take a look at the fact that there has been an announcement for the Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Edition. Fuck yeah, let's rock.
I remember Guilty Gear coming out. Fuck.
Including Guilty Gear, the original game. I always used to say By Your Side, but it's not. It's just called The Missing Link, I believe. Guilty Gear 1, Guilty Gear XX.
Guilty Gear 1, a bad game.
A broken-ass fucking Mugen game, yes. But
a legacy was born from this, but then again, a legacy was born from Street Fighter 1.
Okay, but imagine if Marvel started at Marvel 2.
Oh, man!
Imagine where we'd be right now.
Oh, we'd be in the future!
It'd be like that's what Guilty Gear is. Guilty Gear's so good now because it started at Marvel 2.
Oh no.
That's the franchise. They like you didn't start.
I'll never forgive them for taking away fucking Baiken's ability to do that move on the ground.
Or taking away Cliff.
Cliff is so broken.
Cliff is so cool.
Oh man.
So cool.
Cliff is so broken.
Yeah. What a franchise. What a fucking adventure. But so we're looking at Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Edition coming out for the Switch, including Guilty Gear 1, Guilty Gear XX, and Accent Core Plus R. So you're getting
Guilty Gear 2.
You're getting everything. You're getting the full legacy of Daisuke's story. And you're getting it all the way up to the best and latest version. Which is, like I said, you got to hit him with the plus R sometimes. Every once in a while, when it's not normal racism, you hit him with the plus R.
That's negative on block.
Oh, shit. Yeah. 20 years, man. 20 years. I feel like...
Johnny still hasn't been arrested.
Johnny is still a virgin.
Thank goodness.
I am, like... one of those people that is like, I feel like I've walked Mike Ross's path. In that, like, I've always admired Guilty Gear from a distance, and then I got in a little bit, and then toes, but Street Fighter's fucking Street Fighter,
right.
Man. And it just wormed its way in slowly, and now it's just on my brain.
Yep.
And... like, I think about playing it when I'm not playing things. And that hasn't happened to me in a long time.
Guilty Gear is a great fighting game.
Exerd fucking gets under my skin. I need it. It's so fun.
Don't worry, Persona 5 Rumble will be announced soon.
Well,
and then you can just replace that with your heart.
Rumble, racing, reimagined, retelling. What's the fucking R stand for? What are we doing here? Because now we have the official confirmation. Persona 5R has a trailer. Next information is in March. But we don't actually know what the fuck the R stands for.
And it's a trailer that's nothing. It's one of those trailers that's nothing.
Okay, well, can we possibly get excited for the fact that it's a new rendering of downtown Shinjuku?
That could mean anything.
Or is it Shibuya? Shibuya? Yeah. With the fucking building.
March.
Yeah, but it's new. It's a new render, right?
I fucking hate the way Atlas does all of their media stuff ever.
Persona 5 Royale.
Ugh.
Huh?
By the way, did you see footage of Last Survivor?
I watched there was 10 minutes out of it.
It looks really bad.
Yeah, I saw Fyre.
It looks really fucking
In fact,
bad.
last week when we first brought it up, it had like about 10 minutes available. Yeah.
Fucking, they turned everyone's stands into guns, which is the worst thing they could possibly. It's fucking terrible.
Because the moment it started, and I was like, oh wait, it's battle royale, so you have to do this hiding thing and little footsteps and whatnot, and that's not very JoJo. JoJo is I'm up in your face, and now we're choosing how to puzzle our way out of this battle. So
or haha, I coughed on your breakfast. You're gonna die of a disease now.
Whatever, man. It's just to fight those Gunslinger Arcade Stratos setups, you know.
No.
But yeah, this thing is I don't know what it is, but clearly if it has a new asset for downtown, or maybe it's just for the trailer. Maybe I'm reading too hard into it. But like maybe it's not just a re-release. Maybe it's a different spin-off.
I'm just glad the dancing spin-off is already out of the way, so I can't be hit with that disappointment.
It can't be hit. You can't be hit with that twice.
I would flip my lid if it's Persona 5 driving all afternoon.
Racing.
No. I said driving all afternoon.
I mean, yeah, that name came
Racing.
and it went, and we played it, and it was there. But like, when you when you throw R on any other franchise, it automatically means racing.
You know what? No, it's Persona 5 R-rated. And it's pornography. All the S-links end in pornography.
They already do.
Yeah.
When are we getting SMT dancing all night? When are we getting that shit, Atlas? What's the
Do a
fucking
dance
hold-up?
battle against Yahweh and he just spins his head?
Yes, absolutely. Keep the beat going as the world ends. As demons conquer Tokyo for reals. Dance. Keep the beat. Uh-oh.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Nailed it.
You get one chance to answer this question correctly. Who's the DJ?
Is there a DJ?
Yes.
Steven.
It's Jack Frost, ho.
Oh.
It's Jack Frost.
But think about Steven. DJing.
You know Steven's a secret boss in SMT Apocalypse?
I believe it.
He gets out of his chair.
I believe it. Wait, what?
Yeah. He stands up.
What?
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah, I know. He got better.
how?
Demons.
Oh my god! Fucking Steven! Holy shit! He's the DJ to me.
Oh man.
He's the goddamn DJ.
I invented the DJ summoning program. Here you go, kids.
Fucking cue apocalyptic Tokyo. Well, anyway, we talked about Ace Combat. There was an announcement, and that is that, surprise, surprise, more Dragon Ball games are coming.
One's gonna be an RPG of some kind.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Project Z, action RPG. And it's saying this is going to depict a never-before-expressed nostalgic and new Dragon Ball world.
Boy, that's gonna be a fucking trash game.
Well, the render of the character looks pretty good so far.
Yeah.
That's a 3D model we're looking at
Sure.
of Goku holding Gohan.
This game's gonna be bad.
Yeah, well, but it's I mean, it's the annual,
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? Huh?
But hey, they also basically said Sagas 2 and Jiren.
and Jiren and Fighters.
Yeah, and Fighters
So-
alongside the announcement. Yeah, I mean, look, we've been over this a couple times, and I'm saying this as an outsider anyway, but, like, how fucking great would it be to have that full RPG, modern-day budget experience, but not for Dragon Ball and not Dragon Ball Z?
It'd be the shit. It'd be the fucking shit.
Think about that world.
Holy shit, that bald dude just grew 2 extra arms.
There's
What
a
boss
dinosaur
fight.
over there. Want to go fight it?
Yeah.
Like, Dragon Ball
Oh no,
is...
I'm being attacked by legally distinct Jackie Chun.
Dragon Ball, not Z,
Yeah.
is a fucking RPG already.
Yep.
Because it's about the world. So the fact that we have to go back to Z because it's the big money maker is like, it'd be so cool to really explore that younger Goku era because the world building is so much stronger back then, even though it wouldn't sell.
Use the power pole on the rabbit to put him on the moon.
And because the fact that it wouldn't sell means that I'm a bad business person, so my idea is already
Why are you
terrible.
such a terrible businessman?
But everyone that knows would love that,
Who cares about that old stinky Dragon Ball?
Little pudgy kid Goku running around, and then when you finally...
Well, that's why they made GT, remember?
Yeah!
And it sucked!
But then you get your Nimbus to quick travel, and then you got your Power Bow, and you can, like, see the map.
Well,
and...
the absolute best you could possibly expect is Dragon Ball told in the vein of Naruto the Broken Bond. That's the best you can possibly expect.
But there's so many Dragon Ball games that come out so often that it's almost like, well, just give it a shot.
No.
You'll make up for it next time
I
if you
said
didn't.
no.
Anyway,
It's me, the man who owns a Kiriora Tomarmar's soul.
No, but we'll see what.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, Pat.
We'll see what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got
A
there.
Kiriora Tomarmar's.
You did it. You did it. You got
Yep.
there.
Totally.
We'll see where this goes. We'll see what it is. If it's it could just be full on RPG of Dragon Ball Z, which sure, it's fine. You got a couple of arcs. You speak for a living.
I speak for a living. So, you guys want to know a secret about speaking and making a mistake? Don't try and save it.
Let it happen.
That's the mistake.
Embrace.
Trying to save it causes bigger mistakes.
Speaking of bigger mistakes,
All right.
and trying to save them,
All right.
have you seen?
What am I fucking looking at this?
We're looking at the Overwatch Korean contenders getting their trophy because they just won a tournament.
Overwatch tournament, yeah.
The Overwatch tournament. It's fantastic, and they hoist up the cup, and oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no! The trophy broke, and the camera...
The handle just fucking popped off.
And the camera moves really far away.
But it's too late.
And we're going to pull out even further.
We've seen everything.
No, let's not get in. Oh, God, there's the cup.
Oh,
It's
wow.
broken. No one on the stage knows what to do. Hands are up. People are shrugging.
What does that thing cost then? Like $20?
The trophy fucking broke.
That's offensive.
At a live Overwatch victory ceremony. That's how fucking bad.
That's
sports.
That's embarrassing. I feel really bad for those guys. Because, like, when you pick up the trophy over the thing that you ostensibly feel a great accomplishment for, and it starts to disintegrate in your hands, that can't feel like anything other than this is how seriously I'm being taken right now.
The trophy is just symbolic. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but then the symbol disintegrates in your hand!
It's like they put the belt on you, and then the belt just falls apart.
Because there's no buckle.
And they never thought it through. Holy fuck.
That's awful.
You want to talk about one job, you know?
Just make sure it doesn't fall apart when they touch it.
Like, there's two things you can hold on this trophy. They're the handles on the left and on the right. The one thing a trophy needs to do is be held by its handle.
A Stanley Cup, this is not.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they were smiles, but they
But also what people do with trophies is they go on wild benders with them.
Lifting
and do
them,
stupid shit with them.
Hoisting them up. And
they have to be durable.
And you got to take shots out of there and do all kinds of dumb things. So, anyway, the Overwatch contenders, that's a shame. That's, everyone's like, oof. But yeah, that was just a little moment that occurred. And it's like, guys.
That's awful.
Overwatch, you got more money than this.
I feel like every time I hear about Overwatch now, it's like it's some disaster.
Really?
You know?
Kind of lost track with some of the new characters and
Shit's
stuff going
toxic.
on. But it's still, it's still making its money.
Oh, I'm sure.
What
are you looking at?
I mean,
You got that look on your face.
Yeah, like
What are you
speaking
looking
of
at?
making its money, we can get real close to home.
Yeah.
And talk about the other news this week. About making its money. But as reported everywhere on the internet, all of Machinima's videos were suddenly removed without warning.
So we had like a little bit of warning that that stuff was going on at Machinima.
Yeah.
But we were just as baffled when we woke up and I got a text from Wooly that essentially said Machinima is gone. And I went, huh?
So, for the most part, Max put out a video just going like, yo, I got fired. And basically the same thing happened to us.
But it happened after the bet we had already broken up, so it was like, well, we didn't really get fired because we weren't working there anymore.
But dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know.
Just like within 3 weeks, the entire company just ceased to exist on every level.
Well, it got bought.
Well, yeah, but it still went away.
The channel and its content went away. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, even for those that were not just dropped like a fucking sack of potatoes.
We're just going to private every video that you've ever made on this channel.
Sure glad I started HD remixing my shit.
I bet Solidus feels real smart right now.
Yeah.
And all those people who downloaded those Machinima episodes.
And Purple Stress that's helping me put it together.
Yeah.
So, woof. Bow wow wow.
Baffling as to why they felt
Bark,
the need
bark.
to private all the videos.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get that part of it.
Yeah.
Why bother? Like literally, why even bother?
I mean, I do know that the state they're in was, despite the 13 million subs or so, it was like there's hourly videos, so people were not tuning in to that much, you know. But yeah, it was really, really nuts. And I mean, Vimeo is still out there. So
Vimeo is infinite.
And for those like that are, I mean, and I think they're the like Machinima has their stuff copied over, but also people were kind of wondering about the Best for stuff, and it's like, yeah, that Vimeo page is still up. You know,
I would like to offer a genuine congratulations to Mr. Darkside Phil for outlasting us.
Everything and everyone.
And also outlasting Machinima.
Yes.
Who let him go a few years ago. And when they let him go, he was like, this is bullshit, but whatever, I'll outlast you all. Yup, you totally did.
DSP?
You super won.
DSP. You are the rocks on the eternal shore.
Crash against you and be broken.
There's nothing else to say. DSP absolutely killed it.
I cannot.
He absolutely killed
I
it.
cannot overestimate and overemphasize how genuine my congratulations
Absolutely.
is. Because I remember
serious.
him saying, like, oh, I'll last everybody. I'm like, yeah, right, Phil. Fuck me!
1,000%. Like, egg on the face of the world. DSP absolutely hung in there. So, no, the
Good
realest,
for you.
The realest of the real. Like, yes. The whole network came down, my dude. The whole thing. We went down, then it went down. And when the system breaks down, we break down. But he stayed true. He stayed true. Man.
Oh.
Man. Tell ya. So that happened this week as well. And, hey, what up, AdSense? How you doing?
AdSense.
Also going on.
You look hot. Get in.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit from a distance. It's hard to tell.
You know, it's one of those. It's one of those hots.
It's hard to tell from a distance.
It's one of those hots that's like, this is lighting based. You know, it's like mood lighting. Yeah. Bright daylight. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see how it works out.
Yeah. It's a little bit blurry, hard to read. We'll find out as we pull up closer. Hey, there's a new Power Rangers console fighting game.
What?
And the reason why the words console are being used so aggressively for the trailer Battle for the Grid, Power Rangers, Saban's Power Rangers Battle for the Grid,
is because
the first thing in the trailer is coming to console and PC is because there's a fucking mobile game.
Yeah, like Injustice has a mobile game.
Yes, and because and that's the one that had the Street Fighter crossover and stuff. Now this is apparently being made by what is the fucking company's name? N something. It's the people that made the mobile one.
Okay.
Enway. And oh yeah, Tommy's in it at the end, and he's holding a controller and he's doing a Nintendo promo style thing.
He's like, hey, I was the Green Ranger. Ignore how I'm a massive piece of shit.
I mean, I know about the part where he lost at UFC.
Oh, he fucking bullied the fuck out of Billy on the set.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that sucks, man.
Yep.
I like Tommy. Oh, I
Yep.
like Tommy. Oh, that sucks. Fuck. Damn, I didn't know that. Well, anyway.
He really was a villain in his heart.
Shit. Damn.
Yeah, I've ruined Power Rangers for Wooly. Yeah.
Well, anyway, the Green Ranger.
The green one was the evil one.
So the Power Rangers fighting game is being made by NY, and they made the mobile game, and they're basically, apparently people are saying it's kind of just being like, it's a port of the mobile game that is being consoled up. It's being consoled up, so we will see how it goes, but having played a bunch of mobile fighting games, not particularly, I'm a little bit, I'm not expecting much.
Oh, apparently it was the entire cast was bullying Billy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So they were all scummy,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
including the deceased.
Well, yeah, she wasn't scummy afterwards.
Fuck. That's a bummer news story that I didn't hear about.
Yeah.
Don't bully Billy.
Yeah.
Bully the other Billy from Fyre Festival.
No bully.
Bully that Billy.
I think the law is gonna bully him just fine.
Bully the bad Billy. That's what I say.
The 3 Bs.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck.
There was something I've been enjoying. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's just a little, like there's the feel good stories where you just kind of throw up the puppies and go, look at these cute puppies on the news.
I follow Chonky Animals on Twitter. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I've been enjoying something over the years that happens from time to time. And what I do like is hearing about these stage plays in Japan and seeing the cast photos.
Okay.
Because they're fucking great. And
Don't watch them. They're terrible.
No, but I love the cast photos of the Persona one and the Bleach one and there's a whole bunch of them out there. I want to say there was a Phoenix Wright one we looked at a while ago. And so the My Hero Academia stage play is happening. And apparently these costumes are looking pretty tight. So I put a link to it if you guys want to just Google the My Hero Academia stage play. But
those are decent costumes.
Yeah, those are pretty decent. And that's the fun part. It's like, because you know what it ends up being? It ends up being highest budget official cosplay. You know? It kind of just ends up being the highest budget official cosplay you can get. And we're looking at Midoriya and Bakugo and the rest of the cast and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, these are fun. These are pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Oh my god.
What's up?
We've been given a fucking gift.
So, reset the clock.
You saw it too?
Reset the clock.
You saw it too?
I delivered a news story while loading up my Twitter to refresh and get the updates, because that's how you gotta fucking run a podcast sometime, is literally talk absentmindedly to deliver a news story as you scroll for updates.
Yeah.
Reset the clock.
Reset the clock, motherfuckers.
Because we thought we were getting through it, but we were not. Fallout 76 potentially gearing up to go free to play.
Why is that? Is it because EB Games Australia just pulled every copy of the game off its shelves and has no listing for the game anymore in its database?
Holy shit. Oh my god. Live. Hot.
No game. This will break the record from paid to free to play.
What was...
I don't like MMOs that have done it in a year.
No. But what was Cliffy B?
That was free to play right away. Or no, Lawbreakers, they go free to play.
Battleborn?
Battleborn went. That was like a year.
It took a
Those
while.
were all like a year.
We were expecting it to happen sooner, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What? No. Yeah.
3 months.
What was the record?
Well, yeah. What's the record, guys?
If you got the
that
record,
we don't know, that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
That we're not reading. What's the record, you people?
Radical Heights. Radical Heights was free off the bat.
People are saying People are saying lawbreakers for 3 months.
Okay.
Possibly Radical Heights. All right, so this might not break the record.
However,
Brother,
the snowball is now a Katamari. It is now there is no momentum that can stop this.
So here's my future desired headline, which is Bethesda troubled as they cannot even give away Fallout 76 for free.
But there's where do you go from there, right? Like, a box of unshipped copies of Fallout 76 falls on Puppy.
Yeah.
What more?
Well, I said this a while ago, and it's like I assumed that the replacement bags that people would have been sent out would have been like carcinogenic or something.
Jesus Christ!
Like, because they were made with asbestos.
It has to just go to the next level of escalation.
But wait, so going free to play with your game, particularly if you're an established company and potentially have many future games that you're going to be dealing with, way to just absolutely kill people's trust in your ability to buy a game from you, right? Like, this means anything that Bethesda ever puts out that isn't the most surefire slam dunk hit ever, people are going to go, well, if it bombs, they're just going to go free to play, and I can play for free in 6 months.
Let's actually get through the story just to make sure, because we just clicked it and we don't even have the details.
I did read some of it. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
It's EB Games is pulling it from shelves.
Pulled new copies from its shelves. Distributor recall, and no new physical copies on sale. Buy one get one free on pre-owned copies in EB Australia.
Oh yeah, because they can't send those back.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going free to play. Quick, get all the copies off shelves.
Holy shit.
That's wild.
I mean, it's the only way to possibly turn a profit, if you possibly could, right? Is to just get anyone in there spending what they're willing to, because you're not going to get actual.
Yeah, but here's the thing about free to play
anymore.
games. Like, I play Warframe, and I'm up to date on the like, I'm in the games as a service world, right?
Yeah, sure.
You know what the number one thing with games as a service is?
Gas.
You got to put shit out. You got to put shit out.
Right.
Stuff's got to come out. They're going to take a year or more to actually get this game running like normal.
Reset the clock.
Like, you remember when people laughed at Warframe back when it first came out because it was fucked up?
Because of the jank?
Yeah, because it was fucked up and weird, right? Yeah. Well, they kept adding stuff and fixing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this game's going to go 5 years?
When the fuck does The Outer Worlds come out?
This year.
Okay, well, you get so many tries.
Oh, by the way, I'm certain you don't have it on there because it's Warframe related news, and they put out a roadmap that's like, hey, we're gonna add all these features. They're adding a shit zillion features, including a Warframe that's literally just Zarya.
I saw someone post
Zarya,
about that.
Right?
Is it just in terms of ability or in terms of aesthetic?
She looks like a Robo Zarya. She has a big gun like Zarya, and she is unique in that she uses her shields as her energy source.
So you can just
so it's Zarya.
You can just do that. Warframe can just take it.
Right? But
they've been just taking it, to be honest.
And they say that by the end of the year they want ship combat and exploration in every planet in the game, like in space. And a new enemy faction, all sorts of shit. But the funniest thing, and this is just a little joke, is that when they get their community team, they got Rebecca and they got Steve, who's the lead developer, mm-hmm. and they do a prime time, and they're all just a bunch of jackasses in Ontario. Mm-hmm. So they get Steve in front of a whiteboard, and he says, "Okay, 2019 roadmap. First things first." Change the name of Warframes to Javelins. And Rebecca, the community manager, goes, no, because Javelins is the name of the robots in Anthem. So Digital Extreme's throwing big shade at EA, saying that Anthem is a Warframe ripoff.
Wait, is that like a tweet somewhere?
No, it's what Steve's writing on his
On
whiteboard.
on the board.
He writes Warframes, little arrow to javelins, and then he goes hoo hoo hoo, and they all yell at him to wipe it off the whiteboard. And it's like, everybody was thinking it.
What a resilient ass game. What a resilient game.
Yeah.
Warframe is the DSP of Warframe.
There.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wow. Wow. Does
Dude, Anthem, the only time I hear people talking about Anthem is people going, man, not a lot of people talking about Anthem, huh? You know that game comes out in like March?
Mm-hmm. A lot of things come out in March, actually.
Yeah.
March is looking kind of deadly right now. I don't know why people are aiming so much for March. Y'all need to kind of back off of March a little bit.
You know exactly why they're aiming for March. It's because March 31st is the end of the fiscal quarter.
Yes, but fucking learn
learn
your fucking lesson once or twice.
No, Wooly, these are all games that, except for Capcom, these are all games that missed the last fiscal quarter.
Yeah.
And now they have to hit this fiscal quarter.
No matter what.
And they probably, a lot of those, half of those got moved into this one because Red Dead came out in like November. Right?
Yeah.
But now they're competing with all of Capcom's stuff. They're competing with Anthem.
February 22nd. It's the same range ultimately, and it's fighting game February as well.
Alternatively, fighting game March a lot of the time.
Yeah, yes. So even if it like March or late February, it's within the range of that. Like you got to deliver Q1. You know.
Anthem's in February, huh? Wow.
So that's really soon.
Yeah. Are you hyped?
I actually want to touch it.
Oh, I'm gonna play it.
I'm
gonna buy it. And I'm gonna play it.
I want to know
because I want to know. That's it.
Yeah, I do want to know. I mean, I deep down, no matter what you're doing, have like a desire to Iron Man through the sky.
Yeah, and I am invested in Warframe, and I played a bunch of Destiny, and I am now at the point where I am academically curious about the way people make these games. Mm-hmm. Right? These sci-fi shooter like loot advent, you know? And it's like I want to see what this one does so that I am more informed about it in the future. And who knows? Maybe it'll be super great. Just maybe.
You sound convinced.
I'm very convinced. But hey, thinking something's going to be crap and then it turns out to be great is better than the alternative.
It is. Temper those expectations, because when it turns around, everybody wins. That's what I say. And last but not least, we have got, and this is I'm just throwing this one out there. This one's out there for the ones, you know who you are. SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays.
Fuck you.
Got leaked early, and a trailer showed up where it shouldn't have. And it's a new little Gundam game. It's a new little SD Gundam game.
Eat shit.
And in the trailer for the SD Gundam game,
yeah,
we got to see a little collection of some Gundam pilots.
Fucking wow.
You've got the full range. If you want your fuckboys, fuckboys are us is here.
Oh,
if you want your child soldiers are us.
Wow, look at that.
Because our little SD Gundam trailer.
They're all growing up. No, wait, they won't. They'll never grow up into good-looking robots. They're always going to be these SD pieces of shit.
Yeah, if you want your Wing Zero, you got your Hero Yui. Fuckboys are us. All fuckboys.
Look, it's
all
a tiny
day.
Gundam that looks like shit.
All day, non-stop fuckboys.
Oh, you want them iron-blooded orphans?
Oh, you want your Gundam seeds?
Oh, yeah.
You want your Kiras and your fucking Shinaskas?
Holy hell,
you want all of it? Fuckboys are us. We're selling all fuckboys. All fuckboys gotta go. All child soldiers gotta go. You want your Setsuna?
What
You
the
want
fuck
your
is that?
double
I don't even
zeros?
know that one. What
You
is
want
that?
your Gundam double O's? We got them.
Okay.
We got all your child soldiers.
They got
All
got
child
red
soldiers
shins.
gotta go. Chibi style.
They got a little V that's
SD
a gold
cutes.
thing on their face.
Oh. You want your more child soldiers? Not enough?
Oh no.
We got your iron-blooded orphans,
Oh,
all of them.
Oh,
All your orphans and child soldier fuckboys gotta go.
That's too much iron.
All over, everywhere.
That's
SD.
That's a bad supplement for your blood.
SD child soldier fuckboys.
Oh no.
All of them.
Are you even aware of what you're even actually saying?
G. SD Gundam G.
Are you hearing yourself?
Cross generation rays. Gundam.
All right.
It's a Gundam. Coming soon.
All right. All right, now on to our actual last story. It's both a minor and a big one because I just want to give a shout out. I want to give a big old congratulations to one H-Bomber guy for raising roughly $1 zillion for charity.
What?
You did not hear about this. Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. You didn't hear about this.
Okay. This is one of those things that I feel like I saw like tweets in the word going around, but I don't know.
H Bomber guy.
Yes.
You know, he's a YouTube man. He does YouTubes, right?
Okay.
He did a live stream on the Twitch.
Okay.
He wanted to raise, I think, $3,000 for a charity called Mermaids, which is a British charity that helps with trans rights and getting the word out about trans rights in the UK, right?
Cool.
So he wanted to get $3,000, right?
Okay.
And he decided that the best way to do that was to do a 101% run of DK64.
Okay.
It went on for 58 hours.
Whoa!
And he raised $340,000.
Whoa! Holy shit! Dude, I'm super in the dark. I didn't know anything about anything you were just saying.
So he raised...
H Bomber guy?
Yes.
Let me do a quick little thing.
They had John Romero calling in, and
Okay.
they had politicians calling in.
Guys,
It's crazy.
I'm bad at internet. I don't know people's names that I should. I don't know.
Oh, they got Grant Kirkhope on as well, apparently.
Like there's how many times do you come across
a
name of someone that everyone's like, dude, how do you? And I'm like, I don't. I'm sorry.
I didn't know what a Waffle House was until yesterday.
What is that?
It's a
store?
See?
Is that a place where you buy waffles?
It is a Southern waffle restaurant.
Oh yeah,
that
that
everyone was all shocked and shit.
No, that's
I
what
know
I know.
about.
No, that's what I know. What I mean though is in terms of like Twitch and YouTube people, I feel bad for not following our peers and knowing their names.
I also
unfortunately
I also feel bad because the only
before.
thing I know about H Bomber guy is that he did a Dark Souls video that I can't stand.
Okay. Well, I'll say this.
But he did a good thing.
Well, for this being the first time I have ever heard of
good first impression?
H Bomber guy, that's a fucking hell of a first impression. That is awesome. So congratulations. That is super cool. You
know how he got around
57-hour Donkey Kong.
You know how he got around
Holy
the
shit.
57-hour like time limit?
How?
He'd go to sleep, but he'd put a skeleton in his chair. And that was it.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's a hero. You're good. That's awesome, man. That is super cool. Right on.
Yeah, that was like the biggest news all weekend.
It
just didn't hit you.
Well, no, the name would go by, but I just didn't click on anything because I didn't know who or what, and I didn't know what exactly was happening or who it was. But I am glad. Thank you. That's super cool. Fucking good news.
A little bit beyond expectation.
Yes.
Roughly.
I'm ignorant.
104 times.
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
a lot more.
More
than hoped for.
And who called in?
They got John Romero. They got Grant Kirkhope. They got that politician lady Cortez from the States.
Oh, AOC.
Yeah,
right.
Like all these people calling in to be like, "Yo, you're doing it."
Hell yeah. Okay. YouTube.com/HBomberGuy. What does the H stand for? Hero. Yeah. Okay. The more you know. Live on stream, Wooly learns and gets exposed. Sick.
Yeah.
You didn't want to end on Gundam, huh? You didn't want to end on fuck.
No, what I do, Wolves, is that I have a mental list of stories because every time I go, hey, did you hear about this? You go, yeah, it's on the docket, and I screw up your pathing.
Okay.
So I just wait till the end and go, okay, well, we didn't get to it. Okay, I'll throw it in there.
Got it. Mail. Duh, mail.
Oh, hey, if you want to send a mail, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
I was like, don't you fuck it up.
Oh, fuck, dude.
That's a bad.
That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Your emails might sound something like this.
Oh, God. Reset the fucking clock. I can't.
No, again?
I just...
There's more. No.
Okay. I opened my phone up and I'm looking at it and it's just like...
The fucking Fallout shit?
Like, I can't believe we're doing it like...
Every week. Every single fucking week.
Without fail. Without fucking fail.
It's a gift. It's a fucking gift.
It does keep on giving, in fact. We got one coming in from Retro DLC. Says, Dear bootleg Canadian Giant Bomb.
Hey, what up?
I've just watched a video by Brian David Gilbert on Polygon titled "Every Sonic Game is Blasphemous."
Oh, okay.
Turns out the original Western localized Sonic the Hedgehog story is heavily influenced by fundamental Christian beliefs and an internal document literally called Sonic the Hedgehog Bible. This is real and can be read on sonicretro.org. The lore was used as a basis for the original UK Sonic comics and the books called Stay Sonic, and I'm heavily disturbed that Sonic was intended by the USA to become a religious value propaganda tool. What are your feelings on the matter? Does Wooly feel closer to God through Sonic? If so, this might be why. Best regards, Kyle.
Well, that connects a couple dots, doesn't it?
So the thing about this is because I looked at it and I clicked on the link and checked it out, and
it super worked. Sonic is a religious icon.
He is, believe it or not. That did work out.
That's the wildest thing to me. Is like it did kind of work.
Yeah, and DeviantArt did kind of go in that direction. However, this is something I might be able to offer some unique perspective on, perhaps because people might not know this. It's super common in the industry, but maybe it's not outside of the industry. But when you hear the term Bible in reference to an IP or a product,
it's not a real Bible.
It literally just means this is the thing that has all the information you need, and it's almost like a Bible because you would only need this. So a branding company, for example, will make a branding Bible for, let's say, Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
And Pepsi will have the Pepsi Bible that is everything you need to know about the logo, the exact color and shape and size of the Pepsi logo, and how you use it, how it should be interpreted, and what should be associated, what words and thoughts and feelings and so on.
Yeah,
right?
So, for example, if you look at video games, when Bungie was shopping around Halo to movie companies with Microsoft, there was a Halo Bible that was like, listen, this shit either has to be in the movie or not contradicted in the movie. And apparently the tome was so massive that every movie company they went to went, fuck you and fuck that.
Yeah. But that's and like the deal is that like millions of dollars are spent making sure that like a branding company can like, you know, obviously think through like that the feelings you get when you look at their font or whatever. And all of that is covered in the Bible of the given IP. So Bible is just an industry term for gigantic GDD / reference doc / all encompassing tool to help you not contradict or create continuity errors in the future.
You know what's a funny one?
So
that I
not
can
that
think
big
of?
a deal.
Mass Effect, ironically, Mass Effect with all their codec stuff did not have a centralized Bible because the Mass Effect Bible was Drew Karpyshyn. It was the writer.
He just had it all in his head.
It was the man.
Okay.
And then when he left, there was a book written in between Mass Effect 2 and 3 that had so many factual errors in it, BioWare had to apologize.
You got to write that shit out. You got to pay somebody to write that shit out. You can't do that.
Hey, Wooly, you played Mass Effect 1, right?
1. Okay,
let's see if there's a part in that book where somebody stabs a Krogan in his heart and the Krogan dies.
That's not how that works.
No, see, everyone knows that's not. They have like 4. And the book was rife with it because the person who wrote it just played the games, I guess, and didn't even read the codex.
Isn't Star Trek also overwhelmingly full of that type of bullshit? Because directors and writers come along and don't give a fuck about the previous material.
Bit. They're a little better about it, depending on who the showrunner is. Voyager's real bad. Voyager's real bad about it. TNG and DS9 are pretty good about it. Original series doesn't give a fuck about shit. Because fuck you. Zeus is an alien.
Yeah, that you got to pay someone to write that shit down. Especially when world building is your appeal.
Yeah.
It's your main appeal. You have
There's a great YouTuber named Mr. B-Tongue who makes one
Mr.
video a year.
Yes, Mr. B-Tongue. Very talented.
His contribution to this discussion is that he describes the world of Mass Effect and other similar sci-fi as talky and techy. There are parts where you will stand around talking to Geordi or Tali or whoever for like 10 minutes about how the engine works. In a setting like that, the details of that setting become hyper important because they're the kind of things that people actually want to know. Right? How does travel in space work? What's up with these aliens? You know,
what do they eat?
Etc. So if you just try and fucking cowboy Star Wars it, everybody goes, what? What the fuck? That's not how that alien works. I know all about their weird balls.
And then you lash out at them at a con on stage and try to yell and scream and say, shut up.
Yeah.
I was writing a good story. You just didn't understand it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Caught in a predicament. Hey there, Super Castle Clashers. Jeremy
I like
here.
that.
Yeah. Long-time listener, even though there's only 2 episodes. Anyway, caught in a dilemma. My friends are into the Fortnite like everyone else. Not really any good at the game, and I ended up not liking it. Friends keep pestering me whenever I'm online, and they get on my case and tell me, get off those Japanese games and so on. I end up putting myself offline so they don't bother me. They've been my friends since preschool, and I don't want to end my friendship over something stupid as games. So for my question, what do you think is the best course of action I should take in this situation? Keep up the good work. Love from the Rocky Mountains.
Well, if they're really your friends, I don't think it would be much of an issue for you to be like, dude, I don't want to play fucking Fortnite. I don't
Quite
care
simply,
about Fortnite.
you can be friends and not play Fortnite with them.
And if your friend, like, the basic decision here is going to be how much are your friends going to escalate wanting you to play Fortnite? And that will determine the level of your friendship.
I understand that the circumstances of them being your friends forever is very strong based on that preschool connection, but if they really, really actually get on your case because you don't want to play a game you don't enjoy with them, they're kind of assholes.
Wooly, let's take a second here. I just looked over. I'm looking over at the fighting game shelf on your wall.
Yeah.
And I see Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Tekken Tag.
Yeah.
Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah.
Marvel 3.
Yeah.
Ultimate Marvel 3. What is going on?
What do you mean, what is going on?
Why do you own 2 copies of all those fighting games?
Because I used to be a tournament organizer.
See? See, there's an answer.
Like, what did you think?
I don't know. I thought you needed backups just in case.
I did, because I ran tournaments.
You know what? That's a real answer. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, just tell your okay. 1, tell your friends to fuck off, and eventually they'll fuck off. 2, they don't seem to like Japanese games that much. You need to be like, no, guys, check this out. You bring them over. You play like one of those disgusting anime titty games.
Monster
right?
Mon Piece.
Some
with the HDMI plugged in.
Something real good. They'll come around.
You gotta find the right one.
Here's what you do. You put it on, and then you leave, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go get whatever. And you leave the house for like an hour. And then you come back, and your friend's like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. No.
They'll forget how to floss. Yeah, man, don't. You can't get fucking pressured into playing the fucking, like, just because, you know. Like I said, every single time I meet up with family, some new kid who has learned how to talk this year will be like, oh, YouTube, huh? When are you going to play the Fortnite? And I'm like, probably never. And they'll be like, oh, well, then why are you even on YouTube? You know? And it's like, well.
Wow.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old nephew at Christmas. What? Do you play Fortnite?
Yeah. Well, always. Every time. Every time. It took a while for me to find the perfect answer that because it got really awkward for a long time, you know, and I finally found the answer. I want to say like either this year or last year, probably I think it was like last year, and I just echoed it again, but it's like. Because no, it was in the middle of the year when a cousin held up her FaceTime, and she was like, "Hey, there's the family in New York. Say what's up, hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yo, we see you got a YouTube channel. Yeah, okay. So what's you guys? You gonna jump on Fortnite anytime soon? Gonna play some Night, you know?" And it's like, and like it was like, well, the thing is that it's not that I can't or wouldn't. It's that. The people that tend to like watch our stuff tend to like our stuff because we don't play it, and they're like
They tend to like the stuff that we like.
yeah, and like the people that are watching our stuff are watching us because it's not Fortnite.
And
there's a lot of other Fortnite out there, and they kind of go, oh, and you can see the life drain where they're like, oh, you're one of them.
Now we can ironically play Fortnite.
We get absolutely, yeah. We play Minecraft, but yeah. That's the thing, though, and then you see the life drain, and they're like, "Oh, you're not real."
Like, I don't want to get too up on my high horse or sound like I'm
no, not at all,
no. But like, I think I can speak for you as well, Wooly, in that we've been doing this for a while, and we like oftentimes some not super niche, but like relatively niche stuff, right? So I was just talking about Ace Combat, right? That's not a popular series. It's well known and it's old. But it's not like blockbuster, right?
Sure.
It is of great pride to me that we have gathered enough cachet that when we go, yo, Ace Combat's the shit, or this, or Garo is the shit, or what have you.
Punch Planet,
right? People who don't know fuck about that or might not have even looked at that genre ever will at the very least turn their head to see it. And go, occasionally, oh, wow, that does look pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed it otherwise. Thanks.
Yeah.
That is my actual favorite feeling doing all of this.
Yakuza, character action.
Persona.
Yep.
Like what?
JoJo.
Ace Combat, JoJo, what have you.
Fighting games. Yep.
Fighting games in general.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, like people going, I never would have looked at it. It's not my jam. But it totally is, actually.
Turns out I didn't think it was, but it was.
That is my fucking favorite.
Yeah. And the click recognition will always be low based on, you know, the initial what is that?
But we're improving the world. That's what really matters.
Yeah. So the other thing I tend to explain is that what happens, because we've known this firsthand with friends of ours who are YouTubers, when you go into that world of like, you would get of Fortnite and such as you get a massive boost, but the moment you stop playing it, everyone fucking hates you because they are only there for the game.
I sympathize
and not for you.
So strongly with Marcus, aka Epic Name Bro.
That's exactly who I was thinking about.
Mr. Dark Souls.
He couldn't.
Took like half a decade to manage to extricate himself from Dark Souls.
ENB couldn't leave the game.
He would put out videos of him playing Danganronpa, and people would go fucking nuts.
Because that's not why they clicked the button.
Yeah, I clicked the button to watch Dark Souls, motherfucker. And it's like, I remember at the time that he started to do that. It's
I understand where that's coming from.
But at the time that he started to do that, he had run weapon tests for every weapon in Dark Souls. Like, he had done all the math possible. There was nothing left to do.
Yeah, sit and wait for the newest Souls-like, and then make a video about
that. That's you now.
That's what you do, yeah. So that's a rough spot to be in, and I kind of had to explain.
Like, what if Ninja gets tired of Fortnite?
What if? You know? And I kind of had to explain. I was like, there is a thing where people either tune in for what you're playing, or they tune in for the game, you know? And both is great. Both is great, but when it's exclusively because it's the hot game and it's not about you necessarily, it means if you ever stop playing it or don't feel like playing it sometime or play something else, a lot of people are like, well, I'm fucking out because I'm looking for Fortnite.
That's why you got to vary it up, man.
Yeah.
That's why you got to play new hotness, old and busted. New hotness, old hotness. New and busted.
Had a good discussion with Austin about a lot of this, and I really liked...
That man would know because he has the Anime Trash Fire stream.
I really liked the terminology, and I modified it in a way, but the idea of like one for me, one for them, one for me, one for them.
Okay.
And I kind of I took that and I morphed it and I said, one for me, one for them, one for us.
See? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good. I like it a lot. I really, really like it.
And sometimes you get really lucky. So Resident Evil 2 comes out on Friday. That's going to be a big fucking hot game.
Mm-hmm.
It also happens to be a game that I've been preparing to play for 21 years.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and other times you're like, ooh, I can't wait for this new shit that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah. Well, like when people are sitting in your Twitch chat for a game and because news about it happened,
Yeah.
because they're just waiting for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, something about RE happened, and then people are just sitting in your chat going, all right, you know,
Talk about it, dumbass.
Like Mortal Kombat before Max even went live, people were just in the chat
Kenny
going,
there?
yeah, they're like, okay, this is the
Is
place.
Kenny going to be there to talk about Mortal Kombat?
You are the person. We're here. We're waiting. You know, like that's like, yeah, they know. You know, they fucking know. So that's what it be.
What does Kenny think of Mortal Kombat?
He shared the same sentiment.
Oh.
He got his tattoo down there though.
Yeah.
Literally got tattooed. It was fucking crazy, nuts. But Kenny's the kind of guy, like I said, he's gonna wait. Some people wake up and and years later they regret it. Every morning Kenny's gonna wake up and look at that tat on his arm and be like, yeah, like he's gonna fucking get so hyped. Anyway, Sean says, "Dear William the Maverick Hunter and Pat the Maverick,
Yay.
Shion here.
Hey, Shion.
Azur from the SFBP Discord, SFBP, told me that this may have been revealed to you on Twitter, but I wanted to acknowledge it live on stream. Bass and Treble's original names were Forte and Gospel, respectively.
Forte and Gospel.
I knew that and just forgot. Completely knew that.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, 100%. So both were technically keep the music terms, unlike Mega
That's
Man and
cool.
Proto, but like in the weird Battle Network series, Forte has changed to Bass.exe and Gospel keeps his Japanese name. Rockman and Forte
Yeah.
was
That's a game.
That's Rockman and Forte.
Yeah.
We like I 1000% knew that, just forgot. So I had to point it out. Keep rocking and rolling, Beast Lords. Ooh,
Thank you.
Beast Lords is cool.
I'll live with that.
Yeah, I saw some people trying to go like, hey, what should we be? Are we the Knights of Castle Super Beast?
That's cool.
Are we the Beast Lords?
You can be whatever you want,
whatever.
man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's all cool.
As long as it sounds cool.
Are we the Super Beasts?
It can sound cool, or it can sound like fucking lame.
You choose.
Nothing in between. Like Beasters. That's terrible.
Oh, you're just keeping that same convention going. It always works.
Fuck you. It's so good.
Beasterizers.
Beasterizers?
Hey there, Dwayne the Wolves Johnson.
Terrible.
And Underpat.
Awful.
Vido here. I'm an H artist, and I'm here to inform you that I've done exactly 57 big ball, small dick Chun-Li pictures.
Yep.
It is very popular.
Yep.
Okay.
Willie, you remember when
I stand corrected.
You remember when you were like, "Hey, nobody loves big nuts and small dicks," and then people linked us the big burly redheaded man who died after injecting too much silicone into his nuts.
No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
there was a guy in a sex cult that needed bigger nuts.
Yeah.
So he died. He injected a bunch of silicone into them, and they got really big, and then he died.
I know people do the saline thing.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he should not have used silicone. I think that's very clear.
Kuda says, Kuda, who steered us wrong on our play. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Kuda. I misread what you were saying because I thought it would have been. It sounded like we were not out. It sounded like it wasn't a bad end when it already was a bad end. But Kuda says, "Dear Wooly, we'll figure it out. No, Wooly will figure Pat out."
No, you won't.
It's been a decade.
It's been more than a decade.
You said Killer Queen's 4-on-4, but it's 5-on-5. Am I the first person with a real correction? Hoorah! Thanks as always. It was a hooray, actually. I don't know. I did that. Yeah, that's correct. It was Killer Queen is in fact that number of players. And lastly, let's take one from
16 years actually. 2003.
Okay.
That's when we met.
Let's take one from Michael from Brisbane. Says,
Good night, mate.
"Dear Beast Wars
Crikey.
Transformers, recently fell nostalgia for DDR at the arcades in my younger days.
Didgery.
To my disappointment, jerks at Konami have not made new versions on the current platforms.
Dewberry.
I think it'd be popular with new audiences. What would be one older, dead type of game or genre you wish got revived into the current gen spotlight?
The toilet flows in the wrong direction.
It does. It does. It does. It
Light
did.
gun games.
Light gun games.
Yeah.
Have you played Silent Scope Bone Eater?
No, but that's
It's
not a
the-
light gun game, actually.
It's not, but it's a better version of a. It's better than Light Gun. It's accurate
Shut the fuck up.
sniping.
Shut your goddamn
It's
mouth.
super cool. Bone Eater. What about Gunslinger Stratos?
That's not a light gun game.
I know it's not, but it's better than Light Gun
You just
game.
fucking stop it.
It can track the cursor on the screen.
You're an asshole.
You don't got to put a fucking weird ass side screen hanging.
There
dongle
shouldn't
thing.
be a cursor on the screen. There shouldn't be a cursor.
What's a genre that should come back and be in the spotlight?
When I was at MagFest, my only disappointment was that there was no House of the Dead cabinet. That's my favorite arcade game. That and House of the Dead 2.
I don't think it needs to be in the spotlight, but I have another harmonics rhythm game in me. I can handle one more. I think I can handle one more.
Brisbane!
Yeah, I guess so.
Australia.
Hey, you know what genre should come back and be in the spotlight? Fighting games.
I don't know. I feel like they're bigger now than they ever were in any time other than like 95.
This is true, but we need to just get comfortable with where they're at. You know, like
They're a highly specific genre, like racing games or soccer.
Don't be Capcom and be. Why can't it be other things? Because other things are other things.
That's right.
People like the other things for the reason they are.
Yes.
They'll like this thing this much.
And that's enough.
That's as far as it'll get. 750,000.
Oh, boy.
What's coming
Or
up?
1,300.
What's coming out?
Oh, what's coming out? This week, RE2 is coming out, and also then Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out right afterwards.
It sure is.
You know what the funniest thing is? Apparently those games, I feel like there's a Kingdom Hearts game and Resident Evil that came out like right next to each other way back in the day, and Kingdom Hearts won the sales.
Yeah, I saw some people saying like they're doing posts of like Together Forever, Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil.
I hope Resident Evil beats it, but it's not. Kingdom Hearts is going to crush it. I'm not going to be streaming Kingdom Hearts, but I am going to be streaming Resident Evil 2 at some point this week, depending on whether or not Capcom blesses me with something early. And that's over at twitch.tv/angriestpat. What about you, Wolves?
Well, Katamari with Reggie is going to be wrapping up. Like we finished the game, so
I saw you got a good old attaboy from your pal Too Mellow.
yeah, absolutely. And some other folks have been like chiming in and get really happy with that. I'm really, really happy with the idea that I had for this like kind of format where I want to LP with a radio intelligence operator. I want someone to have facts and cool info to really just, you know, bring to the LP that might not otherwise be there if it's double cold or if it's even if it's like one played through already, one didn't. I really I want to have I love the feeling of like that, of like people having interesting information and things to learn about the game's production as we go through it, almost like a director's commentary track. So that's kind of what I asked Reggie to sort of become, and I want to be doing that for the others as well. So that's a deliberate thing, and I'm glad people are really enjoying that, and that's going to continue on Wooly Versus. Excuse me. So now that we're done that, I am pretty sure I'm going to sit down with him this week, and we're going to pick up Jet Set Radio. So that'll be happening. Within short order once the rotation of Katamari moves through. And then Zoe getting there pretty close as well. Oh my god, that I fucking almost lose my voice recording yesterday with Min because like we tried some new shit out. We tried some new shit out in Zoe 2 and fuck, man.
That game is the best.
It really is, and turns out it can be even more the best, more than you thought possible.
Really?
Yeah. Also, yes, least overrated game of all time, as the title goes, and
it and RE4 sitting right there. It's just like, Oh, what a time.
So that's going to be wrapping up, and then from there, I'm going to move into something else. I'm currently deciding. Committing to too long RPGs is a bit tricky, but I'll just like be upfront and say that like right now I'm thinking about. I'm trying to decide because there's 3 games that I've like always wanted to get into that I never got into, and I think it'd be fun. So one of them is Onimusha, right? Like I talked about. One of them
That's quite short.
Yeah, that's short. So that'd be an easy thing to pull out. One of them is Persona 1, and then eventually Persona 2.
That is not quite short.
No. But I'm curious about them because people for a long time have been like, you fucking plebs, play the first 2 games. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should find out what those are about. So I've been thinking about those for a while. Of course, Naruto is always a possibility as well.
Yeah, you gotta have more Naruto.
But we have to actually like get that intro together because you gotta film an intro. So that's kind of a thought I'm having, but I'm also juggling the possibility of going into Earthbound and Mother 3 because those are 2 games that I've always wanted to get around into and I've never done
you
as
ever
well.
played them, huh?
Yeah, haven't done them. So I'm juggling all those as possibilities. You know, those are my feels. I'm not sure which direction to go in right now, but that's all possibility. And then JoJo continuing with Volta. Right now, I backed down, and I'm sorry to those that were upset that I switched stands. I kind of wanted that to be edited a little differently so that it wouldn't create an episode's worth of a gap of expectations. So that kind of happened in a way that made people upset, and I didn't want that to go down. So I'm sorry about that.
You didn't go with your tree with the pixies?
I didn't go with the Pixies tree. I went with Deep Purple. I wanted it to be a more instantaneous thing at the end of that episode so that people would know, but instead there was a full like day or 2 of people going, "Oh, it's Pixies," and I'm like, "Sorry, it's not," and everyone got really bummed out.
You coward!
And dislike bombed the shit out of the video. So, excuse me. But I think as I explained in a comment, I kind of just I didn't want to commit to 50 hours or so of an RPG with something I thought was kind of lame. I'm sorry, but
you know what game you should play?
it was probably going to bug me in the long run. So I picked something I thought I'd be excited about.
You should play it.
What's that?
You should fucking play New Vegas.
New Vegas. Where the fuck is going on? So that's again Wooly versus over on Twitch. And you can check out my podcast. Wooly will figure it out. I put out a video, or I put out an episode of that recently talking about me and Josh's mecha story, pitching it to Plague of Gripes. You guys had a lot of opinions on that, and thank you for some cool ideas that have come in. Thank you for the compliments on the art as well. I had my old art put in an album alongside Diane and Soul Carl's for this old project, and it feels weird seeing so many people know about this stuff now, but there's a feeling of release that comes from getting fucking 10 years of tension off your chest. So thanks for all that. Yeah. You look smarmy and smug as fuck.
New Vegas.
New Vegas. It's number 1. The overlap is literally number 1. Like, you've bombed my stats.
Yeah!
You blew up my...
I even made a fucking step-by-step guide on how to mod it!
You blew up my...
You can't escape!
My fucking Twitch stats.
Alright, we'll see you guys next week.
Holy shit.
Bye, everybody.
Oh...